All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Appreciate you guys joining me today and waiting patiently, as always, for the intro to finish up. I hope everybody is doing well. Happy New Year's Eve. Luna's already knocking her treats down. MBG is here. Yes, I'm here, guys. Boss is very intrigued at what Luna's doing. Luna has been a terrible influence on Boss. Luna has been trying to get her own treats and rip them open. And Boss never even thought about doing that before. And these days now, Boss is figuring out different ways to, to make that happen. But yeah, thank you for joining me today, guys. Appreciate you being here. For those who are here right now, do me a favor, please hit that like button, okay? And encourage others as they enter the stream to hit the like button. I want to see if we can get to 50 likes. We do have topics we are going to be discussing today. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of those topics. We're talking about an Xbox first-party studio Endgame seemingly going all out on the PlayStation 5 Pro. We are talking about Herman Hulst once again and him basically laying out Sony's strategy for 2025 and presumably beyond when it comes to live service games or games as a service. We're also going to be talking about how multiple Kojima Productions titles have apparently suffered delays, which is unfortunate. Not Death Stranding 2, however, which I think is the good news there. And yeah, we will have these discussions. We will probably talk about some other topics along the way as well. Gaming Survivor says, do the right thing, guys. Buy physical games in 2025. I'm going to be buying physical games. I think you guys should too. I think you should too. I mean, it's okay if you don't want to. It's okay. But we got to try to keep physical alive, you know? Azerk, a member for 17 months, says, Happy New Year 2025 Triple Anus. Absolutely. The Triple Anus is going to be off the charts, seemingly in 2025. And Happy New Year to you as well, Azerk. Thank you for being a member for 17 months. And so before we dive into these topics, the first topic we're going to talk about has to do with this Xbox first-party title, that being Call of Duty Black Ops 6, taking full advantage of the PS5 Pro. I mean, really going above and beyond, truly. We're going to talk about that, but before we do, I want to, again, encourage you guys to hit the like button. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to give a shout out to those who watch the streams later on. There are a couple of ways in which you can support the channel and support the content. Okay, we are completely fan-funded. I do want to let you guys know that going into 2025, we're going to be doubling and tripling down on members' content, okay? I've also noticed that people who were previously getting channel memberships gifted to them, but then it stopped for a while. It's happening again. They're receiving membership gifts. I was looking over my members list, and I'm seeing a lot of those yellow and black PlayStation logo badges, which means a lot of people who have been members for a year or longer are receiving those gifts. So a couple of ways you could support the channel. Become a member, okay, if you're not already a member. Gift memberships. If we hit 25 members gifted today, we will feed the beast, of course. Consider dropping a super chat and consider dropping a direct donation. These are all ways in which you can support the channel, the content, and the community. So thank you to everybody who makes this possible. There's also a super chat goal. If we hit 10 super chats, we will still feed the beast slightly less treats, but we'll still give him some treats nonetheless. So again, we are doubling down on members content going into 2025. Members lounges, morning with the misses, member exclusive gameplay streams, among other things. So please look forward to that. You're always going to buy physical copies and always will until they stop it. That's how I feel too. Yeah. Hanzo says he's got this on mute. He's in a meeting, but I can type. It's funny. He probably doesn't even know I acknowledge that. Or maybe I don't know, maybe there are captions. Either way, thank you for the commitment, Hanzo. That's some serious commitment, bro. He's straight up playing my stream while he's in the middle of a meeting, just muted. You didn't realize your membership badge saved your old progress. Yeah, if you get gifted a membership or you are a member for a certain period of time and then you're not a member for a couple months and come back or get a membership gift, it picks up right where you left off. King Sam says, we can hit the 1,200 member goal today, guys. I believe. King Sam believes. King Sam will drop 300 membership gifts to kick it off. Isn't that right, King Sam? I mean, we're at 666 members. We are past the halfway point of the goal. I think it's obvious, at least to me, it's obvious that I don't think we're going to hit this goal. Today is the final day, but it's okay. It's okay. You guys still showed great support, and honestly, getting more than halfway there, I would say, is quite impressive. Maybe I set the goal too high. I'm not sure, but it's a big deal. You know, it's a big deal. Mrs. MBG reveal, got to set that goal high. But either way, thank you guys for all the support. Today's the final countdown. Who's going to be the one to drop 400 memberships? You know somebody here is going to do it. Maybe. I don't know. Chris, you're saying, MBG, even though I always go physical, it doesn't matter anymore. We are like the last 10% of consumers who do, LMAO. I mean, I'm not sure if you're right about that. You could be right, but I don't have that mentality just yet. I still feel like people, as physical starts to really fade away, more people who maybe were not paying much attention to it, they might start to pay attention to it, you know, and they might start to feel like maybe I will start buying a couple games physically. I feel like it's one of those things where people won't realize what they've lost until it's gone, you know? But yeah, it's shrinking, that's for sure. The big question is, with the next generation consoles, or at least with the PlayStation 6, will Sony still offer physical games? Surely they have to. Surely they have to. Unholy Mayhem says, members content is worth it, everybody. Well, I'm glad you feel that way, Unholy. Yeah, the members content, when we do it, is, I'd say, pretty good. I enjoy it. A lot of you guys seem to enjoy it too. All right. Yeah, that's true. That's true too, Chris. That's true. Okay, Luna, hold on. She's really going to town. She's just sitting here, like, trying to eat the bag. Oh my God. Dude. She almost ripped this bag. I'm going to have to give her a couple. She almost straight up ripped this bag open. You got to chill out, Luna. You can have a couple too, boss. Just giving them some early appetizers, that's all. If I don't, they're going to go berserk, and they're going to get it themselves. So, all right, guys, we're going to dive into the first topic of discussion today, though. And that has to do with a Xbox first-party game and studio showing huge, also impressive support for the PS5 Pro. This is something that I think going into 2025, we kind of had some questions regarding, right? Will Microsoft and their first-party studios support the PS5 Pro? We really weren't sure. We did know that apparently Black Ops 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, got a PS5 Pro patch, but we weren't really sure how significant it was because there wasn't any type of analysis done. But now Digital Foundry has done their deep dive analysis, and actually it was so extensive that they went to the studio. It's actually Infinity Ward Poland that apparently did the PS5 Pro patch or upgrade for Black Ops 6. Digital Foundry was actually invited there to really get like the whole picture, the full scope of what they've done here. And what's super interesting about Black Ops 6's PS5 Pro patch, if they've actually done something that no other developer has done, that no other studio has done, they've actually implemented a unique feature that people are actually pretty excited about because they would like to see more developers implement a feature like this as well in future PS5 Pro titles. So I'm actually going to do the too long didn't watch version. We're not going to react to the entire analysis video that Digital Foundry put out. I don't think that's necessary, but we have a user here on the PS5 subreddit who did the too long didn't watch version, and this is what they said. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has received a substantial upgrade for the PS5 Pro, offering a host of enhancements over the base PS5 version. The Pro version boasts improved visual settings at 60 Hz, including enhanced shadow resolution, global illumination, ambient occlusion, and screen space reflections. It also incorporates PS5's spectral super resolution, or PSSR, for upscaling to 4K resolution, along with an anti-lag VRR feature that allows for frame rates above 60 FPS. In 120 Hz mode, the Pro version delivers a higher frame rate by reverting to base PS5 visual settings, but leverages the console's power to tighten the performance margin. The game also introduces new engine features like weather grade volumes for realistic environmental effects, advanced terrain rendering with visual texturing and deformable layers, and improved glass shattering physics. The developers have focused on optimizing the game for PS5 Pro, utilizing features like variable rate shading to maximize performance. While minor issues like some flickering pixels with PSSR have been noted, a fix is reportedly currently in the works. Overall, Black Ops 6 on PS5 Pro offers a noticeable visual and performance upgrade, showcasing the capabilities of the new console. So, this is, I would say, quite an interesting turn of events here, where we know that there was only a certain amount of games that were upgraded for the PS5 Pro, and Black Ops 6 was one of them. But Black Ops 6 is now a first-party Microsoft title underneath a first-party Microsoft studio. I don't think anybody would have expected that one of the best and most unique PS5 Pro versions of a game we've seen thus far would come from a now Microsoft-owned studio. But it just goes to show how crazy things have gotten, how many things have turned around in 2024. And so the thing I want to focus on here that people are very impressed with is the anti-lag VRR feature that allows frame rates to go above 60 FPS. So I was actually watching the Digital Foundry video to try and understand what is going on here. And basically, from what I can tell, it seems like, again, this is Infinity Ward Poland that actually did this on the back end. It seems like there's actually some enough time per frame left over. I mean, we're talking about milliseconds here, but there are like enough milliseconds of time left over after a frame on the PS5 Pro version that they actually made it so that it can like comfortably, I guess, predict the next frame. And because of that, it essentially does allow the game to ultimately run at a higher and smoother frame rate. I mean, it seems very technical. What do you? I don't know what you guys are doing in the chat right now, but I don't know what's happening. But I'm over here talking about the technical analysis of Black Ops 6, and I see in the chat Sea of Crack Divers, as well as Crack Kuza. Did I miss something? MRPD, you're saying MBG Delta producer said his priority in 2025 is to deliver a polished Metal Gear Solid. This screams the game suffers from UE5 stutter at this time in development. Yeah, maybe them developing it in Unreal Engine 5 is proving to be a little bit more difficult. Maybe it requires much more optimization. But you know what the important thing is? They're not rushing it. That actually makes me happy, right? If they're going to have to delay the game, well, clearly they did have to delay the game to 2025, and they're talking about making sure it's fully polished. Take as much time as you need. You know, I do not want a game like Metal Gear Solid Delta to release in some kind of half-baked, unfinished, or just unstable state. I'd much rather them take an extra 6 months if you need it, or more. It doesn't matter. Just make sure, yeah, and the Pro version as well. You're right. It'll be even more polished. Just make sure you get it to where it needs to be, you know? Metal Gear Solid Delta Crack Eater. I didn't even read that one. That one just popped into my mind, bro. This is a combination of the chat and MRPD doing this to me. We need that release date, though. We need that release date. All right. My chat is trying really hard to get me off topic. Getting back on topic. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Majorly enhanced for the PS5 Pro. I got to ask you guys this question. How do you think this was going to happen either way? Because I feel like this was going to happen either way. I feel like this is not Microsoft going out of their way to try to, I guess, flex on the PS5 Pro. I feel like this is just them allowing their studios to do what they were already going to do anyway. But I have to say, I'm quite impressed. Like, I got to give credit where it's due here, where Microsoft didn't have to do this. They did not have to, let their studios spend time and resources optimizing this game to this level for the PS5 Pro. And they also didn't have to flex this hard. They didn't have to go this hard. I mean, I also got to give credit to Activision and Infinity Ward Poland, where it's like, I think that they're basically laying out something here that other developers can maybe look at and learn from and say, maybe we can try to do something like this of our own, right? This new VRR feature, the anti-lag VRR feature. I mean, this is something that I feel like, at least based off of some of the comments I read underneath the Digital Foundry video, people were basically saying like they would like to see more updates like this. They would like to see more upgrades like this, things that feel more tangible, more beneficial overall, rather than just, raw increase in like pixel count or something like that. Why wouldn't it happen? They want to make money off of Black Ops 6 on all platforms. I guess people just thought that they were petty or something. Well, I guess because there was always kind of the question, I don't think there was ever a question of whether or not Microsoft would allow their studios to support the PS5 Pro. I mean, maybe a while ago that was a question, but we got the answer to that pretty quickly, which is like, yeah, if they want to support it, they're going to support it. But it's just fascinating to me that one of the first games we see, it's like, I just didn't expect them to go this hard. I didn't expect Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to be one of the major standout PS5 Pro enhanced games. And I'm actually glad, because this is a game that I still play and I'm still enjoying, and I definitely have noticed the improvements. I have a base PS5 in the other room, and I play Black Ops 6 in the other room sometimes. And when I'm playing it on there versus playing it on the Pro, I can see the difference. It's not like major, but it's something I can notice, and I'm like, yeah, this is something that I think we're only going to see more of going into 2025 and beyond. And so, really good stuff there, man. Very impressed with. I'm very impressed with some of the stuff that some teams have been able to do with the PS5 Pro, even though there are a couple of hiccups. We've seen some games that have had some hiccups. There are games that seem to be doing a very impressive job. One of the more recent ones as well that I saw was Warhammer Space Marine 2. That's another PS5 Pro patch that it's doing some heavy lifting, So the Death Stranding Platinum is killing you. It's not an easy one, man. It definitely takes persistence. You guys are still going in the chat, man. Microsoft has fully bent the knee to the Sony console power. I mean, they have. Yeah. And at least for now. I mean, the real question, as we've talked about, is like, will Microsoft release their next-gen console in as soon as 2026? At that point, we might be looking at a PS5 Pro going up against, whatever the next-gen Xbox is going to be. But for now, yeah, I imagine that, you look at what we're seeing with Black Ops 6 on the PS5 Pro, the next Microsoft game, the next, well, actually, hold on. Does Doom the Dark Ages have a release date yet? No, it's just slated for 2025. Okay. I don't know why I kept thinking that Doom the Dark Ages was coming in early next year. Right now, it's just scheduled for 2025. Well, the next Microsoft game that is going to release on the PlayStation 5 and the PS5 Pro is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, this is a game that, from what I can tell, the technical analysis videos that Digital Foundry has put out, apparently it's doing a lot of things really well. It's a very good-looking game, a very technically impressive game. It's going to be very interesting to see how much they're able to squeeze out of the PS5 Pro. I say this because, well, it seems obvious to me that this game is going to support the PS5 Pro, and I think it seems obvious that going forward, every AAA Microsoft title that comes to PS5 will support the PS5 Pro. Indiana Jones is going to be a really interesting one because it's doing some impressive stuff on the Series X, and just generally speaking. So, man, you guys even got Hellbound to chime in. You even got Hellbound with a Dead Crack remake. Crackiana Jones. Okay. Sammy the Smooth. Wow. By the way, did you guys see my mug? It's a Helldivers mug. Serving democracy, liberty. No decaf. Established 2044. Who the hell is Carlos says, I've started a virus in the chat. Yeah, you absolutely did. This is I mean, look, it could be worse. I'll be honest, it could be worse. So I'm at least thankful that it's not worse than this. You're saying incorrect, MBG. We got an Xbox OS in portable PCs rumored. This means Xbox merging with Windows. Microsoft's goal of software of the entire industry is to be king of software of the entire industry. PC, console, mobile. This is Microsoft versus Tencent now. Well, I agree with what you're saying. I'm just not sure what I'm incorrect about. Because I agree with that. I mean, Microsoft, listen, man, if there's one thing I'm very happy to see is as Microsoft is beginning to make it more clear that, yeah, we're gonna bring more of our games to PS5 and PS5 Pro, I'm really happy to see that they're not kind of cutting corners or, they're treating it seriously where it's like, yeah, we want our studios, we're going to let our studios like really optimize for the PS5 as well as the Pro and not hold anything back and just make it very clear that they're not, there's no hesitance whatsoever. They're not trying to make it seem like, well, we're only going to do so much. No, they're just letting them go all in. I'm actually very much appreciative of that as somebody who is likely going to be playing some of these games. I mean, I'm already playing, like I said, Black Ops 6, and I'm already appreciative that they are going above and beyond here. They're really doing some impressive stuff with the PS5 Pro. And I'm really happy about that because, I mean, obviously, I fully expect Sony, with any of their games, to take full advantage and do the most impressive stuff on the PS5 Pro. I expect certain third-party developers to also do some impressive stuff. But I have to say, one of the things I honestly was not anticipating was that Microsoft Studios would now also be kind of part of that, of like, now they're doing some impressive stuff on the PS5 Pro. So, all in all, good news. From a profit standpoint, it makes plenty of sense. Yeah. I guess really what it boils down to, Tarnish the Witch, is it's I don't think it's so much about it making or not making sense as much as it's just, I don't think anybody was expecting them to do that, to optimize this much for the PS5 Pro. And that's why I'm so interested with Indiana Jones, because it's like, if Indiana Jones just does like the bare minimum for the PS5 Pro, I mean like the absolute bare minimum, and it's not really that impressive, I don't think anybody would be like, oh man, I can't believe that. I think that they would just be like, well, I mean, yeah, it's a Microsoft first party studio. Like, they don't seem like the most inclined, They don't seem like the most inclined publisher to go above and beyond and do the most on the PS5 Pro. But if they do end up doing that, I think that that's what would kind of surprise people a little bit. It's like, wow, they're actually putting like the extra effort, They didn't have to do that because I think the game's going to sell well on PS5 no matter what. the PS5 Pro install base is not that large. You know what I mean? So there's not a whole lot of incentive there at the end of the day, at least right now for the PS5 Pro. There's devs that literally don't even try at all. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Guys, at the rate this is going, I'm going to have to ban the word crack from my chat. I see we're ringing in the new year in the only way that this community knows how. Dude, Matthew Buckley, that one got me. I'm not reading that one. That one got me. Oh, man. That one got me. All right. Indiana Jones already runs at native 1600 to 1800p at 60 FPS on Series X. There's really not much you can improve on that game. The path tracing is only available on PC. Well, I don't know, Carlos. My assumption would be if that's, you're saying between 1600p and 1800p at 60 FPS on the Series X, I feel like the improvement that could be made there, I mean, even if it's the only improvement, would be just a higher native resolution, potentially, at 60 FPS. Better ray tracing? I mean, yeah, there's no way we're going to see path tracing on the Pro. That I agree. That's not going to happen. But I could see them trying to increase the native resolution somewhat. And I think they could also try to increase the ray tracing as much as they can. That would be my assumption for like PS5 Pro enhancements we could expect for maybe a game like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Vanino with a $2 super chat says, MBG AI upscale creates input lag. Anti-lag helps. Yeah, that's why I think people are kind of latching on to this anti-lag technique that that Infinity Ward is implementing here. And this might be something that, again, I think other development teams, they'll take a look at and they'll be like, maybe we should try to do something like this ourselves. And Matt Fu comes in and drops a 10 bomb on you guys. Matt Fu coming out of nowhere, dropping 10 membership gifts onto the community. Absolutely love to see it. We need to see the W's flowing in the chat. Matt, thank you so much for that, buddy. You've been dropping a pretty decent amount of membership gifts lately, so I definitely appreciate it, man. And to anybody who just got gifted a membership, if you are here in the chat right now, like I said, you now have access to all of the members' content, and we're going all in with members' content going into 2025. So please look forward to that. Let me add that to the counter and see somebody asking, MBG, can we expect a state of play or showcase in January? I am expecting a state of play in January, not a showcase, a state of play. By the way, I forgot to mention this. It's actually probably better I'm mentioning this now since we have more people here. Tomorrow, all right, January 1st, make sure you tune into the stream. We are doing my official PlayStation 2025 predictions. Yesterday, we went back and took a look at my official 2024 predictions. We evaluated what I got right, what I got wrong. Some of it was pretty comical, I'm not going to lie. But I actually did even more predictions this time, even more detailed predictions. So make sure you tune in to tomorrow's stream if you're interested in that, because a lot of people were asking me if I'm planning on doing another prediction stream or video. And yes, we will. So I'm looking forward to it. And let me add Matt Fu's 10 bomb to the... Oh, I see we have Meow coming in and dropping a single membership gift as well, keeping the member train rolling. Meow, thank you so much for that. That's actually 11 members gifted. Guys, it's up to you. Keep that member train going. Can't promise we'll hit the main goal for the month, but we can still strive for 25 members so we can. I don't know where Boss went, but we can feed these cats their treats properly, that is, anyway. So that brings us up to 677. The cheeks cheeks effect. Yes, cheeks effect. I can't believe that. How is this still going? Who started this? Only my chat, man. Let's see. Only my chat. All right. I have to get used to making the end date 2025 now, though. That's going to take a little while to get used to. Oh, we also have Tim Malcolm re-upping his membership. Tim, thank you so much for that, buddy. Love to see it. Yeah, big shout out to anybody who re-ups their own membership. I know a lot of people rely on getting gifted memberships, but for those of you who are re-upping it and choosing to support directly like that, I very much appreciate it. So, Tim, welcome back, man. And I'm going to add that to the counter. So that's 678. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. And on the day, that is 12 members. So we'll see if we can hit that 25 mark. Gaming Survivor. Dude, the amount of thought that some of you, Gaming Survivor, bro, the amount of thought that some of you are putting into some of these names, it's like, I mean, I'm going to have to do a dedicated stream at some point where we're just going to rename. It would be a pretty fun, actually, this could be a pretty fun stream, but I will basically create a list of words where I will ask the community, I'll ask you guys to just give me certain words and I'll create a list. And for like 5 or like 10 minutes, I'll say what word we're on or I'll put it up on screen and you guys have to come up with the craziest names like you're doing right now. I'll throw the word crack on screen and see what you guys can come up with. And I will basically, after the timer's up, I'll decide which one I thought was best. But I don't know what you would win. Anyway, you guys are nuts. So what you're saying is there's nothing to talk about today for PlayStation. Well, no, we are talking about stuff regarding PlayStation. There's not a whole lot. I won't lie to you. There's not a whole lot. But yeah, Black Ops 6, like I said, going all out on the PS5 Pro, doing some interesting things. Well, I'm seeing what the Steam Deck sold more than the Portal at over 3 million. Sony fans think 2 million sold of anything they put out as amazing nowadays or something. Yeah, I can only assume you're referencing the PlayStation Portal, which apparently I don't know if it's true or not. I saw the number 2 million floating around. I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's that impressive. No, it's the whole thing with the PlayStation Portal, in my opinion, is the fact that Sony seemingly had like bottom of the barrel expectations for it. That's what I think is kind of important to understand. If you compare 2 million to how many units the Vita sold or even the PlayStation Portable, yeah, it doesn't really touch those devices. But when you consider the position that the Portal was in and how, again, man, like Sony was just like, we'll just see what happens, like nobody might, Nobody might buy this thing. I think they're just kind of not. I don't think Sony's like impressed per se, as much as it's just it answered a question for them. I think the question Sony had when they put out the PlayStation Portal is, hold on, guys. Come on. Come on, you gotta go. I think Leia might throw up. Sorry about that. Leia was. I think Leia's trying to cough up a hairball, and I didn't want her to get it on the carpet or anything. So, hold on. Okay. Yeah. So when it comes to the PlayStation Portal, like I was saying, I just think that Sony was trying to ask a question, and that question was, is there an audience for a handheld like this at all? Do people care about handhelds anymore at all? And I think Sony had very, very low expectations, thinking nobody was going to be interested in it, but it ended up finding a pretty decent audience. You know, it's not like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million, but it's apparently a couple million, supposedly. And for a $200 device that really has minimal use case, I would say, I could see why Sony looks at that as like something that they want to continue to explore and update. But we do have those rumors that Sony is apparently going all in with a dedicated handheld again. So lower this. Matthew, you're saying you have a Portal. Quite nice little gadget. Yeah, a lot of people have tuned into my streams or on my you know, on the comment section of my videos anytime we talk about the Portal, basically saying how they really enjoy it. Like they use it more than they expected. Matt, you're enjoying yours too. Yeah, it's something I'm gonna get at some point. I'm gonna be late to it, but I actually don't mind because it seems like they're continuing to update it, improve it. And so if I'm late to the PlayStation Portal, I might get a better version of it, you know? Prince G, you love the Portal too? MRPD, you're saying you had a Portal, but you returned it. Just wasn't for you. Your internet's pretty good, but you were experiencing a lot of stutters. Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one. I don't think the Portal's for everybody. I think that is true as well. You're saying, of course they are, because Microsoft is making a handheld, and we all know Sony is following in Microsoft's footsteps. I mean, I think we could analyze that and say they're following a couple of things. Other things, though, they're kind of still they're going at their own pace, doing their own things. Hellbound, do you love the Portal as well? MRPD, are you regretting returning it? Maybe? Hold on one sec, guys. You need a proper dedicated handheld. Yeah, well, the last rumor, we heard about a dedicated Sony handheld apparently is it's something that they're working on right now, and will likely release by around the time the PlayStation 6 comes out, and it will play PS5 games natively, supposedly, as well as PS4 games, and I would assume stream PS6 games. Michelle, you're asking, how do I gift memberships? If you were ever a channel member before, it should allow you to gift memberships. If you have never been a channel member yet, you might. I think you have to become one to gift memberships. But if you click the $ at the bottom of the chat, there should be the option where it says membership gifting. Unless YouTube changed it, they may have changed it. Maybe you guys can tell me. I don't know if YouTube lets anybody gift memberships now, whether or not you were ever a member. You just got Tears of the Kingdom for Christmas. You've been playing through that and enjoying it. Yeah, I haven't messed with any handhelds in a long time. I mean, even when I played the Switch or any games I have played on the Switch, I never played in handheld mode. Because any of the games I would be playing are like party games with other people. So I would always be playing it docked. I did have a PSP when I was younger. I had Game Boys, but I don't really feel like I have much use for a handheld necessarily. But it's one of these things where I feel like I can't say that until I have a handheld, If I have one and it just never gets used, then I'll know, yeah, I just don't have any use for this. But for all I know, if I had one right now, I would be using it. In certain instances where I just maybe didn't think about it, You think the Switch just looks bad on your big screen? You prefer the handheld? MBG, you're a streamer that doesn't leave his house. Well, I leave my house sometimes. Sometimes. You use your phone for xCloud. Would that be considered handheld? I mean, yeah, I guess. I would consider it handheld. Get a Vita. I know people really love the Vita. I don't see myself getting a Vita. I don't think that's going to happen. But it seems to me like what Sony is potentially building up to here ultimately when we talk about the PS5 Pro, we talk about this whole family of devices for the PS5, such as what we're seeing with the PS Portal. I think we're getting a good glimpse as to what we can expect with the PlayStation 6 and how the PlayStation 6 is also going to have a wide family of devices as well. One of those devices being a dedicated handheld. And we have Zombie Dragon coming in and dropping a single membership gift, keeping the member train going. And then Hellbound 1981 dropping the 5-bomb on you guys. Let's get some more W's flowing in the chat for Zombie Dragon as well as Hellbound, showing more support. Bring us up to 18 members on the day, by the way. 18 members on the day. So we're very close to the 25 mark. I'll add those 6 memberships to the goal here. Joe Armstrong says, thanks for the gift. And I noticed that Joe has a 12-month member badge. So there we go. More proof that anybody who has been a member for a year or longer, they're now receiving membership gifts once again, which is awesome to see. So good stuff, man. Thank you guys. Let me add that to the counter here real quick. I don't know why it's not working. We're at 678. All right. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. You've been playing Stellar Blade and you think it's amazing? Yeah, so here's my plan. Tomorrow stream, January 1st, we're going to be doing a prediction stream. I'm going to be giving my predictions for PlayStation for 2025. the following day on January 2nd, I'm planning on doing, as long as there isn't any like significant news to cover, you know, it depends. If there's significant news, that will take priority. But on January 2nd, I plan to stream about, do a dedicated stream going over my top games of 2024, including my game of the year, including all the games I platinumed. And then on January 3rd, I'm planning on doing, we'll see if it comes together the way I'm thinking. But I would like to do a stream kind of mapping out 2025, talking about upcoming games that I'm looking forward to and, you know, what I'm excited to play or thinking about playing in 2025. So that's my plan. You think Stellar Blade is going to turn out to be your second favorite game of the year after Silent Hill 2? Yeah, a lot of people really love Stellar Blade, man. What level are you for trophies? Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know my trophy level. I never pay attention to that. I would have to look next time I log in. I think it's 3 something. 3 something. All right. Let's see. So I don't think there's really much else left to say about the first topic here, which is, again, Activision, Microsoft, and Infinity Ward Poland showing big support for the PS5 Pro. Good to see. I guess the last thing I'll say before we move on is I really do hope that going into 2025, we start to see more and more developers doing interesting things, kind of like what we're seeing here with Black Ops 6 and the anti-lag VRR. I hope we start to see more interesting things done with PS5 Pro enhancements because I think there's still a bit of animosity, generally speaking, or cynicism surrounding the PS5 Pro. A lot of people who have the PS5 Pro are actually really enjoying it, from what I can tell. A lot of people feeling good about having a PS5 Pro and very much looking forward to games in 2025 that are going to take advantage of it. But I do think the PS5 Pro can use all the help it can get in terms of, you know, stuff like this, stuff that's just going to make people feel a little bit better about it and maybe kind of win people over and make them realize, you know, this console is actually pretty great. Lone Wolf Gamer, member for 17 months, says, MBG, Happy New Year. Rebirth and Stellar Blade are my top games of 2024. Well, Happy New Year to you as well, Lone Wolf Gamer. And those are some pretty solid picks, man. Somebody just a moment ago said that they were playing Stellar Blade for the first time and they think it's going to be their second favorite game of the year. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, though, that game, I think, was game of the year for quite a few people. Quite a few people. So thank you for that, Lone Wolf Gamer. February stacked for games. Yeah. Hopefully no other games are announced for February. You know what's interesting, though? When I think about February 2025, I don't think there's a lot of games I'm personally interested in playing. I have to look over the list of games coming out in February again, though. But I know for a lot of people, that month is going to be pretty devastating because there's like so many games coming out in such a short period of time. One of the things that I'm a little bit surprised by when thinking about PlayStation is we don't have anything lined up for PlayStation for January, for February, for March, or even for April. And I feel like that's a bit strange. I feel like that's not really the norm for Sony. So I don't know if that's going to change or not, but I'm wondering if Sony's maybe just going to be leaning on third-party games for the first couple months of 2025. But I'll talk more about that when I do my predictions tomorrow. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, MRPD. That's what I'm thinking. Days Gone remaster incoming. You know, I'll welcome it. I'll be honest. I'll play a Days Gone remaster. You know, here's what I think would be interesting about a Days Gone remaster that I don't think many people are really thinking of. Um, Days Gone is a very good looking game, I think, but if I'm not mistaken, it was a game that was built on Unreal Engine 4. If they come out with a Days Gone remaster and they're like, we rebuilt it in Unreal Engine 5, and I could see it looking way better, like way better than the original Days Gone. I'm not saying that that would necessarily get people who are not interested in Days Gone or a remaster of it excited, but as somebody who really enjoyed that game, the last time I played Days Gone was in 2019, and I got the platinum. You're saying that would qualify it as a remake, basically? Yeah, that's where I'm trying to like. I'm basically wondering, is it going to get the Until Dawn treatment or is it going to get the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster treatment? Because if it gets the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster treatment, where it's a remaster, not like a remake, right? They didn't switch engines or anything like that. I would expect there to be a $10 upgrade path. I think at this point in time, Sony's made it pretty clear that for games that are not that old, that are getting remastered, they will offer an upgrade path. But I don't know, man. An Unreal Engine 5 Days Gone sounds very tantalizing. I'm not gonna lie. Like I would actually kind of hope that they would go down that road. No pun intended. If they're gonna do anything with Days Gone. Matt York, you're saying Indiana Jones just doesn't look good to you. They should have really made it a third person game. I think if it was a third person game, it would automatically be more appealing to me as well. But I think I'm going to play Indiana Jones when it comes to PS5. Um, I haven't seen that much of it, but what I have seen does look pretty solid overall. It does look pretty solid. The fact that it got really good reviews gives me confidence as well. I saw some people saying that Indiana Jones is their game of the year, so I'm like, man, all right, Machine Games must have cooked. But I did also see some people thinking that they might end up doing like a third person update, which would be really interesting if they gave you the option. I wonder if they would end up doing that, like giving you the option to play in either first or third person. I love it when games do that. Not many games do that though. But I could see Indiana Jones maybe getting that treatment. Yeah, I forgot you said that before. The third person wouldn't work for the puzzles. Yeah, I guess I would have to play it to kind of understand that. Um, I gotta stop saying so much. Lone Wolf Gamer, you're asking if they confirmed if Indiana Jones will be pro enhanced. They did not explicitly confirm it, but when they were asked about it a couple months ago, they didn't say no. They basically shifted the conversation to talking about the Xbox version. So that tells me that it will be pro enhanced. I would be quite surprised if it wasn't. I just think that they don't really want to talk about it during launch month for the Xbox, which makes sense. If you're trying to release it for the Series X and the Series S, and the PS5 version's coming out like in April or May or something, there's really, you don't want to dissuade people from playing it now. Yes, Sea of Thieves is actually PS5 Pro enhanced. I can't. Boss is on my lap right now. I can't get up. I'll. Okay. Chris Brown, you're saying MBG movie insider Jeff Snyder. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. Did hint at Disney wanting to acquire a big game company. Huh. Really? I haven't heard anything about this. I mean, when they say a game company, Like, considering Disney, as far as I'm aware, they're not directly involved with developing video games. They license everything. So when we talk about a game company, I'm assuming like I mean, are we talking about like a platform holder here? Or like a major publisher? Maybe not a platform holder, but like a major publishing unit. That would be my guess anyway. He randomly mentioned it talking about big movie news for 2025. Okay. Well, I guess I wouldn't put too much stock into it if it was just kind of casually mentioned. Unholy Mayhem, a member for 6 months, says, I got a DualSense Edge for Christmas and it's pretty cool so far. I got to make control presets. Have you used the DualSense Edge? Yes, I have. I actually have my DualSense Edge right here. And I use it all the time. I really like it. I've actually been making more use of some of its features since I've been playing Black Ops 6. Like I use the, I don't know what you would call this. I guess the trigger stop. I've been using that a little bit more when I'm using semi-automatic weapons, and it's actually been extremely useful. I use the rounded sticks rather than the regular ones. And I think I have a couple presets as well. So yeah, man, I've definitely been using the DualSense Edge, and I really like it. I really like it. Oh yeah, that's a good call out. Yeah, I'll talk about that in just a moment. But Unholy Mayhem, thank you for using your milestone chat, man. And I do hope you end up enjoying the DualSense Edge. I think it's a really solid controller. I want to say somebody mentioned that the DualSense Edge is apparently coming in black as well. Yeah, so that was kind of leaked out. Apparently, Sony has a whole lineup of like black accessories now, like with the DualSense Edge, and I would assume plates for the PS5 Pro, but also the Pulse Elite and Pulse Explorer headsets and earbuds. And this was stuff that we thought would be revealed at the Game Awards, but it was not. So when we talk about the idea of Sony potentially doing a state of play in January, I think this does kind of hint at, yeah, Sony has a couple of things that they still have yet to announce that kind of leaked out. And these are not major announcements. These are actually announcements that would be perfect for a state of play. So I did kind of forget about that. Oh yeah, it's all good, Lone Wolf Gamer. No surprise there, right? No surprise there. State of play is January 30th, apparently. I haven't heard anything about a specific date. I think it could be any time in January. I think it could be mid-January. I think it could be late January. I think last year Sony did it really late. I think last year Sony did a really late state. I think it was the last day of January, actually, that they did their state of play last year. All right, so I do want to move on to the second main topic of discussion of the stream. Why not early January? I mean, they could do early January. There's nothing saying they can't. The one thing I will add, though, before I move on, is the rumor currently is that the Switch 2 is set to be revealed January 8th. So if that's true, or if there is any truth to that, I could see why Sony would want to completely avoid that. You definitely don't want to have a state of play around that time. I do want to move to the second topic, though, which talks about Sony's strategy, Sony's live service and games as a service strategy going into 2025 and beyond. Okay. This is something that we're hearing from Herman Hulst, but we actually have a lot more coming from Herman Hulst because let me see if I could find it. I believe it was Zubitech over on Twitter. He posted the entire transcript for the Herman Hulst interview, um, which is actually extremely helpful because he said quite a bit, and I want to make sure we get everything that Herman Hulst said because I mean, frankly, Herman Hulst isn't doing interviews that often, and I want to see if there's anything useful, anything interesting that we can gather from it. You're thinking we hear about the Horizon Live Service game in a January state of play? I'm trying to refrain from commenting too much on this, only because, like I said, I want to do my predictions tomorrow, and I don't want to. I don't want to repeat myself, even though I always repeat myself. But surprise, PlayStation still didn't remove the 30th anniversary themes. I bet you they'll be gone tomorrow, or maybe they'll just keep them. Maybe they'll just keep them. I don't see why. I don't see how it could hurt, to just keep those themes. All right, so Sony Interactive Entertainment / PlayStation Studio Business Group CEO Herman Hulst. Again, shout out to Zubitech for getting the entire transcript here. These are all the quotes. These are all the quotes from Herman Hulst, okay? This year is an important milestone that shows our commitment to creators and players. As a creator, I am pleased to see game developers using the power of technology to create new worlds and make games more detailed and deep. I'm also honored to be part of SIE, which has been providing joy and entertainment experiences for tens of millions of people for more than 30 years. I have high expectations that we will continue to provide joy to fans around the world. I've always been fascinated by game controllers. As creators, they are passionate about creating amazing worlds, but it is a game controller that connects the world to the player as a real experience. PlayStation controllers have always provided the highest quality experience. The DualShock series of controllers. So I'm just realizing this now because it was not specified. I'm just realizing that this is not actually from a single interview. This is a compilation. Okay, so my bad. I thought that this was the entire interview. Apparently not. That's interesting, though. Got Herman Hulst talking about the DualShock. Let me wade through this a little bit. I can't reveal the exact number, but we have a lot of great titles in development, including Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Our portfolio has a wide variety of games, so there's sure to be something for everybody. Okay, here we go. This is the one I wanted to read to you guys. This is the relevant quote. So Herman Hulst says the game business is constantly changing due to various factors, including technological advances, new genres, and ways of playing. However, one thing that remains constant is people's desire for great entertainment experiences, and attention to games continues to grow. However, this has also created competition, and like many companies in the industry, we've had to make changes to our business to solidify a more sustainable operating base. Going forward, we will continue to focus on developing live service titles along with the story-driven single-player titles that our players want. We are learning a lot as we establish the ability to develop high-quality live service titles within SIE. Helldivers 2 attracted many players through continuous content provision and achieved results that support the potential of live service titles. So, the important takeaway here that I'm seeing people kind of focus on, and I think is worth talking about for a moment, is even after what happened with Concord, Herman Hulst is coming out and saying we remain committed to live service games and games as a service. Now, my view of this is, of course, they are. I think that even though Concord, that happened more recently, and a lot of people view that as like, wow, this is why you shouldn't do live service games, Sony. You're out of your depth. There is also Helldivers 2. And because of Helldivers 2, I think that is I think what continues to give Sony confidence even after what happened with Concord, because it's like, okay, we definitely want to avoid anything like Concord happening again, but we want more stuff like Helldivers 2, and we won't be able to get more stuff like Helldivers 2 if we just are too afraid and we basically back out of this completely. I think that Sony probably did learn a tremendous amount about live service games and games as a service this year. I think there's still a lot they have left to learn, but you would hope that after the major success of Helldivers 2 and the major failure of Concord, that Sony would be able to kind of look at those two things and evaluate, like, okay, what made Helldivers 2 a success? What made it as big of a success as it became? What made Concord such a failure? What made it one of the biggest failures ever? You know, and what can we extract from that? We have a direct donation from Rich Rod. Rich Rod is making his presence known. Rich Rod, I demand, bro, $2 tip. You drop a membership gift. You drop a single membership gift. Kojima, this is what Rich Rod's saying, by the way, not me. Kojima, I hope all of your DS2 dev files get deleted at midnight 2025. That's so insanely specific. It's kind of funny. You backstabbing butterscotch. Give Xbox the keys to Decima. You deserve to go bankrupt. Something tells me Rich Rod's not playing Death Stranding on Xbox, bro. Something tells me Rich Rod's not. I hope all of your development files get deleted at midnight, bro. I do not back that one up. I do not want that to happen. I want to play Death Stranding 2. Rich Rod's probably sitting here like, I can't wait. I can't wait till we talk about the news of Kojima's games getting delayed. It's Rich Rod's fault. He willed this into existence, dude. Fernando, you said IGN did a what to expect of PlayStation in 2025 video, and the comments are brutal. Oh, yeah? I assume when you say they're brutal is in not good. Not good for PlayStation. I think that's fine, though. I think, to be honest, I think it's good if PlayStation's on the back foot. And I mean, not financially or from a business perspective, but on the back foot when it comes to the way people feel about them going into 2025. I say this because it means that they have to do a good job, man. You know, it only makes it so that the stakes are higher and they have to deliver. And the only way they're going to win people back, not that it really, I mean, I don't know how much it matters because we're just talking, I mean, we're talking about random comments on the internet, but it's like in order for them to get back in the quote unquote good graces of the internet and the way people talk about them, they're going to have to impress people. They're going to have to do good things. Rudy, you're saying the Xbox comments aren't much better? Yeah, maybe it's just the internet these days, man. Hold on. Maybe it's just the internet these days. Whoa, why does it sound like that? What? Chair's making some weird ass sounds, dude. It's just the same people. Yeah, just the same people leaving the same comments on both. But yeah, no, I think that I don't think Sony should operate, nor should Microsoft for that matter. I don't think either of these companies should operate based on what comments on the internet are saying. I think that there are some rare occasions like what we saw earlier this year with the backlash for the PSN requirement for Helldivers 2, where it's like, this has gotten so big that there's no way Sony can just ignore it. And so they didn't. They did acknowledge it. But 98% of the time, I would say they just should not. They should not base their decisions based off of like, could you imagine that? Could you imagine Sony reading the comments on that IGN video of what to expect from PlayStation 2025 and basically making decisions? for their games and their plans and altering their plans based on that. That'd be nuts. That'd be lunacy. Looks like we have another direct donation from Rich Rod. Rich Rod, you owe me 2 membership gifts now, bro. You owe me 2 membership gifts. He says, Yeastwood, I hope a raccoon takes a dump on the top of your Series X and it leaks into the internals. Now I can legitimately say I play a blank box or a blank console for 2025. Rich Rod, I can only assume you chose a raccoon, so it's a reference to Sly Cooper. I can only assume that's what's going on here. Thank you for that enlightening donation, Rich Rod. You're just giving the people what they want. Oh God, please tell me it's not another Rich Rod. It's okay. It's not. It's TBH Fishing. I was like, oh man, he's still going. He's still going. TBH Fishing with a $2 direct donation says, MBG, hope your day is going good. Can't believe it's the end of 2024 is here. Be safe. I know, dude. I know. It feels like this year went by very quickly. Still, I would say a tough year overall. It was a tough year. Could have been worse. Could have been better, though. But it's over. It's over. I hope your day is going good as well, man. And you stay safe as well. And thank you for the donation. MBG, with how much they ignore our Bloodborne requests, I'm confident Sony will pay no attention to internet comments. Or will not pay attention to internet comments. Yeah. No chance. I think with some things, like with Bloodborne, Sony knows, man. Sony knows. Like, that's what's interesting about the Bloodborne situation is they absolutely know how much people want Bloodborne, and they know that they have a big moneymaker on their hands, but they want to, it's all about the timing. It's all about the timing. They don't want to rush anything. They want to handle it with care. There are people, I think, that are convinced, which I understand why, they're convinced that Sony's not ever going to do anything with Bloodborne, but I'm here to tell you that's not true. Like, trust me, they have plans for Bloodborne. Believe me when I tell you they have plans for Bloodborne. I think what complicates it is the fact that it's a From Software title. I think that complicates things a little bit. We have another direct donation from TBH Fishing. Another $2. Thank you for that, buddy. He says, almost forgot to tell you, my car couldn't get over 30 miles per hour for some reason. Then I remembered it's a Series S. 2025 is going to be lit for gaming. I appreciate you remembering that and dropping that donation to let me know. My car couldn't get over 30 miles per hour, and I remembered it was a Series S. Yeah, keep them rolling. Keep them rolling in. I appreciate it, man. I did see that. Yeah. I don't agree with that. That would be, dude, that would be quite possibly some of the most disappointing news we could get regarding PlayStation Studios. The idea that Blue Point Games is not actually making a game. They're actually acting as a support studio for Sony Santa Monica for their new IP. That would be unbelievably disappointing. Be very, very disappointing. I don't believe it. I believe you acquire a studio like Blue Point to have them produce games, not to be a support studio. Even if it's just remakes and remasters, that's why you acquire them. I think Sony would have to be out of their minds to acquire a studio like Blue Point, for as talented as they are, and say, you guys are just going to act as a support studio now. But I could also understand why people find it kind of hard to believe that the studio is also making a brand new AAA game on their own when they've never had experience with it before. I could also see why that's a little bit difficult to believe, but I really hope that's not true. Because I'll tell you why. If it were to turn out that Blue Point Games is actually just a support studio now underneath PlayStation, um, all I would think to myself is why did you not give them a game to remake instead? Like at the very least, why didn't you let them do what they're best at, which is remake a game that people would definitely buy and want from that team? Sony showed them as a support studio in the slide though with Nixus. Oh, you know what? You're right. I that would be quite possibly like the biggest L, dude. But that's true. You're saying Sony Santa Monica's game is far more important to PlayStation than anything Blue Point could be making. I do agree with that. But so this is the only boss, bro. Come on. This is the only thing that I think could change my mind on this. If it was true and their support studio helping with the Santa Monica game, if they were like, and they developed 80% of it, like Santa Monica basically was more supporting them and not the other way around. Like they needed certain leadership roles from Santa Monica to kind of guide the game, but 80% of it or like 75% of it was developed by Blue Point. That would change my mind because I'd be like, oh, that's basically Blue Point's game then. If it was like a collaborative effort and not so much like you guys are just handling like assets and making the game look really good and stuff like that. And we have NLG Pro coming in, dropping another single membership gift, keeping the member train rolling today. Let's get some W's in the chat. This, I believe, is the first time I'm seeing NLG Pro dropping a membership gift. So thank you for that, buddy. I want to see some W's flowing in that chat. Boss, why you got to be like this, bro? That brings us to 19 members. So, guys, we are 6 members away. We are 6 members away from, boss, knock it off, from being able to feed the beast. He's getting very antsy. But, yo, hey, chill. I got to keep this boy under control. He's strong, dude. And OK comes in and drops another single membership gift. OK showing some support. Keeping that member train going. So that brings us up to 20 members, guys. The 5 bomb does it. 5 bomb brings us to 25. And boss can get his treats. We'll see if somebody wants to dunk it. And I'll add those to the counter here. We'll continue our conversation. So we're at 686. There we go. Yeah, thank you for that, guys. I appreciate all the support. If Sony acquired Blue Point mainly to do remakes of older PS1, PS2, and PS3 games, I'm cool with that as long as it's games that need a modern makeover. They didn't do that, though. Something that has been confirmed is that Blue Point is not doing a remake or a remaster. That is confirmed. They said they're doing original content, and it is true that, I forgot about that, Sony listed them as a support studio. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I do agree with that sentiment, though. I do agree that whatever Santa Monica's new IP is definitely way more important than whatever Blue Point could be working on by themselves. So the idea that they would want to kind of enlist them, the logic adds up, but I would just be very surprised by that. I'd be very surprised at the end of the day. I'm not going to lie. King Sam says, so close to the 1,200 member goal. Can we do it? Titus says, I'll be damned. New iPad just switched over. Wanted to see if the membership thing had changed. Nope. I appreciate you checking, Titus. It's a thought that counts, right? I mean, listen. No. Regardless of what Blue Point ends up revealing, like whatever they end up actually working on, or we find out what they're working on, I'm still going to be very interested in it. I'm going to be very interested in it because I think Blue Point is a very talented studio, man. I think they're very talented. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the idea of them working on their own brand new IP, maybe that was always a bit unrealistic now that I'm thinking about it. But maybe not. Oh, wow. King Sam says someone drops 250 memberships. I'll drop 250 memberships. Maybe. You can't, dude, bro, you can't end that with a maybe. You can't end that one with a maybe. You're going to bait somebody into dropping 250 memberships. And it's like, never mind. Big MP. Yeah, bro, where's Big MP? He needs to get in here. Am I going back to Xbox? No. Well, I guess it depends on how you view it. I don't need to go back to Xbox. Xbox is apparently going to make their way to me. And I'm open to that. Yeah. I'm planning on playing Xbox games, yes. Not all of them, but the ones I'm interested in. Like a game that I'm not interested in playing, at least as of right now, is The Outer Worlds 2. I heard the first one was pretty good, but I don't know. It's not really speaking to me. And it's awesome that it's coming to PS5, but I'm not really feeling it, you know? I did see that there was a rumor recently that State of Decay 3 was actually delayed to 2026. Microsoft was thinking about bringing it to, or I said bring it, but releasing it in 2025, but apparently that's going to be a 2026 game. That's a game I'm very interested to know if I can expect it to drop on PS5 day one. Because if that game doesn't drop on PS5 day one, I will either get an Xbox or play it on PC. I would love for that game to drop on PlayStation day one, though. Illegal Monkey, you're saying MBG, The Outer Worlds is Obsidian's Fallout replacement and better. Gears E-Day, PS5 Pro support. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Maybe Bluepoint is working on the day one PC version of Santa Monica's IP. I would be hard pressed to believe that, because I would assume that if that was the plan, where it's like we want to have a day one version ready to go for PC, I feel like you get Nixus to do that. You know what I mean? Because I guess Bluepoint does have experience shipping the PC, but I don't know. They're not like the PC experts. That's more Nixus. And Nixus could be doing that. I don't know. Something we can say, though, is that Nixus is working on PC stuff year round. Don't rain on my parade, MBG. Let me dream. You know, one of the more interesting things that's apparently getting ready to happen. I gotta stop saying I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's like second nature. It's annoying me. One of the things that apparently Microsoft is getting ready to do very soon, apparently, is make it clear that they're going to allow third-party companies to begin making like Xbox hardware. That's going to be really interesting to see how people react to that. I don't think it's that surprising at this point in time, but that will signal the single biggest shift, I would say, in Xbox's history. Because we could look at the fact that like Sea of Thieves came to PS5, and that's pretty big. It's a pretty big shift. Maybe like Indiana Jones and whatnot coming to PS5. Sure, that's a big shift. But the idea that Microsoft is now like anybody can make an Xbox, I think that really will send a very clear message. You think it'll be disastrous? I don't know that I would consider it something that would be disastrous, only because I don't think it could get any worse. When I look at how rapidly their console sales are dropping, I don't think people understand, man. I don't think people understand when they see the sales numbers like every quarter, like Xbox negative 30%, Xbox negative 25%, negative 40%. Like, I don't think they understand that it's getting to a point where they're going to reach a point where they're like not selling any consoles anymore. And that's why I could kind of understand from their perspective. They're like, what if we just let other people make consoles then and make any kind of Xbox console they want? I don't think they would be doing it in the hopes that it would boost their console sales, but I just don't think it could hurt. I don't think it could hurt. But maybe you're right. Maybe it would be disastrous. The idea is if they choose to do it at the launch of the next console. And that's where I think PlayStation strategy is going to be vastly. Well, Xbox's strategy is what will be vastly different. PlayStation will basically do, like, you would never see Sony do that, man. I don't believe, anyway. You're not going to see Sony being like, go ahead, you can license the PlayStation brand and make a console. Sony would never, I don't think they would ever allow that. But we will see, man. Things are going to be very interesting. I think 2025 is going to be the beginning of getting a real glimpse into these longer term strategies, these mid to long term strategies from both of these companies. I think 2024 has been a teaser. I think 2024 basically served as a teaser for like getting little hints here and there at what these longer term strategies are going to end up looking like. 2025, I think is when we start to really see certain things, some revelations, you know? But getting back, I went way off topic, but let's kind of circle back around. I want to circle back around and talk about Herman Hulst's comments on live service games. So, just to reiterate, Herman Hulst is making it clear that they're going to continue. They're going to continue with live service games going into 2025 and beyond. Now, I don't think that anybody's like shocked by this. Like they have games like Marathon. They have games like all right, boss, bro. Okay, hold on. Just hang tight, boss. Somebody's gonna drop that 5 bomb. All right, just hang tight. It'll happen. I don't think anybody was expecting Sony to just completely abandon live service, considering they have multiple games still left to launch. Marathon, Fair Games, the Horizon multiplayer game, as well as Sony Ben's new title, which apparently will be a live service game. But my takeaway from what Herman Hulst is saying, he says a couple of things that I think are important. He avoids talking about Concord, which is understandable. He brings up Helldivers 2. He says, look, Helldivers 2 is proof. It's proof, you know? That we can do it, that we can be successful here. He also mentions single-player games, which I think is important. Anytime they're smart enough to know, anytime they talk about live service, you got to mention single-player because you can't ever fail to mention that. That's your bread and butter. MBG, does the member goal end today or tomorrow's stream? I mean, I was planning on ending it today, like, you know, like at midnight tonight, that's when it ends. But I don't know, man. If we got a ways to go. If somebody's like, hey, I'll promise we'll get to the goal by the end of tomorrow, I would extend it for a day. But, you know, I'm trying to commit to got to commit to it, you know? Got to commit to it. This goal's been here. It's been here for the whole month. People are going to start feeling the pressure. But, yeah, man, I think that Sony would be very unwise to walk away from live service games. And the reason I say this, why does look at Boss, guys. Bro, look at his face. He's looking at me like, are you serious right now, man? You still haven't given me my treats? Are you serious? That's so funny. I think Sony would be very unwise to walk away from live service because the truth is people love live service games. I understand that for a lot of PlayStation fans and a lot of PlayStation players, not just PlayStation players, but a lot of gamers, they don't like live service games. They don't care about live service games. It's all about that single player. But we do need to acknowledge the reality of gaming in 2024. And the reality of gaming in 2024 is that people absolutely love live service games. They are not going anywhere. They are. I think it's been proven for a long time now that live service games are here to stay, and part of that is the money that can be made is just going to be perpetual. It doesn't stop. There's just an endless flowing river of money, copious amounts of money. Is the live service river, and Sony realizes like we got to dip a straw or two in there, man. We got to get in that river. We can't just ignore it. And so I think it's wise of them to not let Concord deter their ambitions, but what will be required is I think what Herman Hulst as well as Hiroki Totoki have stated, which is twofold. Number one, don't forget your roots with single player. Make sure you do not ever abandon single player, and make sure you don't, I would say make sure the majority of your games are single player. At least more than half. That's what I would say. But you also have to make sure you're actually learning the right lessons. You're walking away with the right lessons learned after the crazy experience that was Helldivers 2 and Concord in the same year in 2024. Because I think there's so much to learn in such a short period of time, and they can capitalize on that. That's why I'm super interested about fair games. I'm going to talk more about fair games tomorrow in my predictions video, but I'm just so interested to see, like, did you learn anything? Because I can tell you right now, if I was working at Sony, if I was the head of PlayStation Studios, I would have had a meeting literally the day after Concord launched, or at least a couple weeks after, probably the day after. But after seeing what happened with Concord, I would have been in a meeting with Jade Raymond and Haven Studio, and I would have said, I'm going to need to see your game. I'm going to need to see the trailer that you guys are preparing for this game. And I'm going to need to see the gameplay, because if I get a whiff of anything that I think could potentially put this in the same ballpark as Concord, we're going to be making some changes. Some big, big changes. Because I want to save your game. And I want to make sure you guys don't get shut down. That's what I would do. I wouldn't just let them, yeah, guys, just make what you want. And I mean, I guess you could do that. I guess that'd be the easier thing. Go ahead, make what you want. But if people don't like it, you guys are done. You're next. You're on the chopping block. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Here's what I want to know. I'm less interested when we talk about live service for PlayStation. I'm less interested in Marathon, the Horizon. Well, the Horizon multiplayer game I'm somewhat interested in because we know so little about it. But the games that we already know. What's up, Michael? The games that we already know about, right? I'm less interested in those and more interested in knowing that Sony remains committed to this live service endeavor. What is beyond these titles? What is beyond Marathon? What is beyond Fair Games? I mean, one of the only games I can think of that is beyond these titles that has the potential to be something relatively exciting is Sony Ben's live service game. But we know so little about it, that it's kind of up in the air. But considering this is a long-term strategy, I mean, I talk about how Herman Hulst is laying out their strategy for 2025, but the reality is this live service and games as a service strategy goes well beyond 2025. This is something that Sony is committed to until it works. And I wonder if people realize that. This isn't one of those situations where it's like if Fair Games was another Concord, they still wouldn't give up. If Marathon flops, they're not going to give up. If the Horizon multiplayer game flops, they're not going to give up. And they can't. They literally can't, because we've crossed the threshold in gaming where if you are a major platform holder and a major publisher, it is a requirement to have live service games. Now, keep in mind, I'm talking about being a major publisher. If you're a smaller publisher, if you're an indie publisher, if you're not on that scale, maybe you don't need them. But even smaller publishers, even some indie developers, even they're trying to chase that live service money. So we're just at this point where this is how it's going to be, and I'm hoping for the best. I don't want to see another Concord situation. I would much rather see, and I think everybody can agree with this, much rather see another Helldivers 2 situation, or at least something closer to that. I would like to see Marathon be a very good game. I know people think I'm rooting against fair games. I'm not rooting against it. I actually hope it's great. It's just that I don't have any confidence whatsoever that it's going to be even good. I'd love to be wrong. I want these games to be successful, not for PlayStation's sake, but for my sake, because I'm probably going to be checking them out. And if I can have anywhere near as much fun playing any of these upcoming live service games from Sony that I had playing Helldivers 2, then I think, that would be the ideal outcome. PlayStation needs successful live service games more than successful single player. Margins are everything. I mean, yeah, if they want to attain their goal of having those really high profit margins, yes. And this is something that Microsoft has fast-tracked, like we talked about. But Sony, I think, whoever is in charge at Sony, they have to respect the single-player game. They have to respect it. I think you would have to be an absolute fool to, if you were somebody making decisions at PlayStation to undermine the importance, margins be damned, of like, this is your core identity. Like, you can have the most successful live service game in the world, but this is a foundational pillar that, if ever removed or even messed with, could cause the whole thing to collapse. And I feel like Herman and Hiroki Totoki, I think they understand this. Maybe Jim Ryan was the one who was a bit too risky there, where he's like, but what if we do mess with it? Maybe that was what caused the most amount of friction internally at PlayStation. And it's kind of, when we reflect on the whole Naughty Dog situation, I think that that's maybe the biggest evidence that I think Naughty Dog was put in a position that they didn't really want to be in. But it's hard to say, because it's like, Naughty Dog really seemed like they wanted to make that live service game, but then when it got canceled, they were like, actually, we want to make single player games. So it makes me question, like, did you guys ever really want to do that in the first place? Or was that something that you were basically mandated to do? Or like, did Jim Ryan or Herman Hulst, like, did they sell you on it? Did they convince you? This is interesting to me, because it's like, I think Sony needs to maintain a certain balance where they have to identify the studios within their family of PlayStation studios that actually want to make service games, and the ones that don't, and they can't force the ones that don't to do it. Because I think we'll get another Last of Us Online situation. You guys are talking about South of Midnight. I have to see more of South of Midnight. The gameplay demo that they showed at the last Xbox showcase did look better than I expected. I remember the first trailer for South of Midnight, I had zero interest. I'm like, I don't really care about this. But then they showed some gameplay, and I'm like, actually, this looks like it could be pretty fun. But I got to see more. I think there is more gameplay out there, actually. I should probably check it out. Herman Hulst, when asked about releasing games on other consoles, quote, "We consider and decide the policy based on whether it is the best sales format for the players and the company," end quote. Where did that... Money, can you refer me to where you got that quote? Because I would like to validate that. I believe you. I mean, you're straight up quoting it, but I haven't seen that anywhere. The same interview with Famitsu. Then okay, hold on. Hold on one sec. Why can't I keep seeing like excerpts from the Famitsu interview, but not an actual link to it. Here are the quotes from the interview. Okay, there's quite a bit here. Single player games. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Like Helldivers 2, there are titles that have been released simultaneously on PS5 and PC and become huge hits. How do you plan to balance the PS5 business with PC development in the future? Herman Hulse says live service titles are released on multiple platforms, so attracting new players and increasing the number of players is key to their success. Therefore, maintaining the momentum at the time of release and penetrating a wide range of players is especially important in the live service field. Single player games are an important element in enhancing the appeal of the PlayStation platform, and we set strategic sales points for each title. While consoles remain our core business, expanding to platforms such as PC will enable us to offer our games to more people. And that's about it. See. There's surely this can't be the whole interview. Um, well, I can't find that direct quote, but it sounds like something Herman would say. I'm not gonna lie, the way it's worded, it does sound like something Herman would say. We consider and decide the policy based on whether it is the best sales format for the players in the company. I mean, it's. I feel like it doesn't really say much. It's like a whole sentence answer, but it doesn't really say much. Where what the way I translate that is basically like we decided on a game by game basis. Although I will say, based off of that, if that is what he did say word for word, that's exactly why I could see Lego Horizon going to Xbox. We consider and decide the policy based on whether it is the best sales format for the players in the company. Considering Lego Horizon apparently is a mega flop, seemingly, it seems like it flopped really bad. I could see them just being like, yeah, we should just throw that everywhere we can. They should bring it to PS4 is what they should do. Wabu Dude with a $10 super chat. Thank you for that, buddy. You're saying, hey, MEG, I think PlayStation could take a page from MiHoYo and focus on single-player live service games. With the oversaturation of third-person co-op shooters, this approach could help PlayStation stand out. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Single-player live service. I feel like Sony would face such bad backlash with that, though, man. Realistically, I think it could actually work and be a good idea and work out better than maybe people think. But I think the idea of kind of, I think to like a lot of players, they would see that as like cross contamination. You know what I mean? Like, no, no, no. We just want single player. You know, we don't want single player live service. We just want single player. I think people like when they hear those headlines, you know what I mean? It might rub them the wrong way. But I think from a more practical standpoint, that I think that would be potentially a good idea. Because like what you're talking about here, you know, third person co-op shooters and stuff, there is an oversaturation. I still would like to see something like that from Sony, but if you think about it, man, Sony's strength is single player. Maybe this would be the way to go for them. So definitely an interesting thought there, Wabu Dude. Lego games are overproduced. They're very redundant. I mean, Lego Horizon, I really think that game. I don't know what Sony's expectations for that game were, but I don't think it got anywhere close to meeting their expectations. I don't think it did well at all. Out of all the live service games that Sony has in development that we know of, the games that the game I actually have the most, the game I have the most confidence in actually succeeding is Marathon. And even then, I don't think it's going to be a mega hit. I think it's just going to do okay. I think it will find a fan base. I think it will have a big enough audience to sustain it somewhat. But all the other live service games, I don't have much confidence in, man. I don't. I feel like we haven't seen anything. I mean, when we talk about like the Horizon multiplayer live service game, we have one thing to go off of. It's not a whole lot, but we have leaked images of this game. And based off of those leaked images, I'm like, I don't have that. That gives me negative confidence. I don't think people are going to like this. But you're talking about leaked images and early play tests from 2020. So at this point, almost 5 years ago, the whole game could have gotten rebooted for all we know. But I just don't have confidence because I think it's like, I don't know that people are asking for that. You know what I mean? I think there are some people, considering how well the Horizon series has sold, I think they could find a big enough audience to sustain the game. But in terms of it being like a big success, I just don't see it, man. I don't think there's enough people that are actively saying, like, I really want Sony to make a live service Horizon game. I think it would have worked for The Last of Us, but I'm not so sure about Horizon. If they nail it, though, if they do it just right, maybe. Sony spent a huge amount of time on remasters and remakes. Do you think there's a creative drought in the gaming space? There might be. I'm not sure yet. In the entire gaming space, I think there's an argument to be made that in the AAA space, I mean, there's an argument, I think, certainly to be made that the creativity is faltering a little bit, or maybe a lot in some cases. In terms of PlayStation, I think we haven't seen enough yet. I think that, we see Intergalactic, a new IP. I think that we know, well, it's not that I think, we do know there are multiple new IPs in development. We have to see these games and what they're actually doing. Because, you talk about a game like Intergalactic, and it's like, yeah, that could be the most generic game ever. It could be. Or it could actually be very creative and interesting. And I'm sure it won't be 100% unique. No game is these days, usually. Like, there's always games borrowing from other games, and that's fine. But it's like, we need to see these top tier studios underneath PlayStation when they come out and say, we're doing something brand new. I mean, for me, and I can only speak for myself, I'm not expecting every single thing they show me to be something brand new, mind-blowing I've never seen before, but I'm expecting a couple things to be certainly different from what I would have expected from the studio, or if not different, just some level of uniqueness. Like, it's very clear that a lot of thought and prioritization went into making sure they're doing something a little bit different. Whether or not it lands and it's actually better, the game is better for it, that's another conversation entirely. But yeah, by the way, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button for me. We're at 128 likes. If you want to help the stream, if this is the only way you can help the stream and help the content, hitting the like button really helps. Let's see if we can bump that up to 150 likes. I think we could easily do that, and I would very much appreciate it. And by the way, guys, we are sitting at, we are sitting at 20 members on the day. So we are 5 members away from being able to feed the beast and hit that smaller goal of 25 members. I think Boss, he's given up. He's given up on the treats. But yeah, like I said, we are doubling and tripling down on members content going into 2025. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, consider becoming a member or gifting memberships. Michael Wernath using his 14-month member milestone chat saying, hit that mother effing like button. Michael really likes it when you hit the like button, guys. He likes it so much he dedicates his milestone chat to it. Thank you for that, man. All right. Let's see. So I think that pretty much wraps up what I have to say about this topic regarding Sony's live service and games as a service strategy. I don't know that there's much else to be said. I guess I'll just close it out by just simply saying that we're going to see multiple live service titles from Sony in 2025. I don't think either one of them are going to be like Helldivers 2 or Concord. At least, hopefully not like Concord, right? I don't think any game they release in 2025 live service wise is going to reach anywhere near the success of Helldivers 2, but I don't think any of them are going to fail either on the same level as Concord. But I think these games will land somewhere a little bit more in the middle, or kind of like in between just mid and cataclysmic failure, or mid and unbelievable success. It'll land somewhere in the middle of those two. We also have Steranko, a member for 17 months, saying Happy New Year, everyone. Well, Happy New Year to you as well, Steranko. Thank you for being a member for 17 months, man. I do appreciate the support. We have Antonio Lopes with a super chat saying PlayStation can't afford to have multiple Concords, MBG. They promised investors 12 games as a service until 2026. There's a lot riding on it. I agree with that. Yeah. Sony would be, I think, in some deep trouble if they have another, even if it's Fair Games, right? Like if Fair Games ends up doing something very similar to Concord, I think they might be in trouble. I think they'll still remain committed, but I think a certain level of panic might start to set in where it's like, oh man, we might not be able to make this work, you know? But it's hard to say, man. My read on Sony's approach with live service is I think they're in it for the long haul. I think they're prepared, man, at this point to just fail, you know, until they don't. Prince G with a $2 super chat says, Xbox is dog crap regardless. Bots cope and cry. All right. Well, Prince G, ringing in the new year, making it very clear how he feels about the Xbox fan base, or at least the fanboys. Thank you for the super chat, Prince G. I feel like it was a bit random, though, but I do appreciate the donation nonetheless. King Sam, you're saying you can never forgive Xbox for closing Tango Gameworks after Hi-Fi Rush, even with Tango being revived at Crafton. Yeah, it was such a strange thing to see them do that, truly. It is nice to see that they survived ultimately, but still looking back, very strange, man. Very, very strange. MRPD says trashing Xbox is never random, brother. It's necessary. You guys clearly love Xbox. Look at you. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see how Xbox does in 2025, because I feel like one of the things that Xbox really did well in 2024 was they put on some good shows, I would say. Especially, dude, Xbox had I remember the way people were talking about Xbox's showcase in June. People loved it, man. People really felt like they nailed it. And, you know, I did talk extensively about how, you know, there's a difference between showing games and releasing games consistently at a high level that people like. And I think that they've been getting better with it, but I think 2025 is really going to be the year. Like, I mean, for real this time, where it's like, all right, guys, you have regardless of some of those games are going to PS5, maybe some won't, but you have a massive slate of games lined up for this year. And some of these games, like if Fable does come out in 2025, these are games that people have been waiting years for, man. So it's like the time is now, you know, it's like sink or swim, go big or go home. This is kind of the moment I think a lot of people have been waiting for. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? I think they closed out the year strong with Indiana Jones and Call of Duty was, I would say, better than I expected, ultimately, but they closed out the year strong. But I'm talking about all the promises of, like, we bought all these studios, we have all these teams, we're gonna have a new game like every quarter, sometimes 2 games every quarter. It's like I'm curious to see what that output looks like, and if they really deliver in the way that people expected. And it's interesting to think that a couple of years ago, man, there was, and this was actually something that lasted for many years with Xbox, where it's like Xbox has no games, Xbox has no games, Xbox has no games. It's like, I think it's safe to say going into 2025 that I think a lot of people already feel like that, like those days are over, like they don't have any games, but it seems like they may actually end up getting to a point where it's like Xbox has the most games. You know, how good all of those games will be, how they turn out, that remains to be seen. But it unfortunately does seem like it came at the cost of their own console. But it's neither here nor there at this point. It's neither here nor there. Was making some toast today and thought, this is an Xbox. They literally have an Xbox Series S toaster, apparently. But I'm feeling pretty good, man, across the board. I'm not going to lie. I feel like 2025 for all the platform holders is going to be really significant. I feel like for PlayStation, they're entering what could be a peak year in terms of content output, games we've been waiting for, hopefully some really good state of plays and announcements and stuff like that. Again, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But PlayStation really maybe starting to hit its stride. Hopefully, right? Hopefully. I think PlayStation will have a solid year in 2025, and I think there's a lot to look forward to. But I think when we look at Xbox, I think the same can be said, man. I mean, when it comes to their console, I'll be clear. I think they're done. The console's cooked for them. But put the console aside, as a brand, as a platform, as like a publisher, I think Xbox is lining up the dominoes, dude. And I think 2025 is when they start to fall in a good way. And I think Nintendo, they have a whole new console launching, dude, a whole new generation. I think all 3 platform holders have the potential to have a huge year. And I think when you combine all those things together, it really starts to paint a picture that 2025 could be one of the biggest years in gaming that we've ever seen. Like, and I don't say that lightly. I know, like, people say that all the time going into the next year, but I mean, legitimately, like, when you look at kind of the way things are laid out, you throw GTA 6 in there somewhere, and it's like, all right, this is going to be kind of wild. Kind of wild. So, feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Terrence, you're saying it would be nice if we could chill on all the hate for all these consoles. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Half the time when I read stuff, I'm not reading it. I'm not taking it seriously. The other half I am. But at least for now, like, I don't know. I'm not. It's like if somebody were to say right now, like, man, PlayStation really sucks. Like, the PS5 really sucks. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. All right, I guess if that's how you feel, like, I'm not. I think it's fine, but it's not something I just can't. I can't have the conversations about the consoles and the platforms in terms of fierce, angry, aggressive competition. I can't have that conversation earnestly anymore because I don't know how anybody can, because it's like, it's not there, dude. Like, it's not there. It's not. Like, here's a reality that people, I think, there's like 2 realities I've noticed that 2 groups of people can't really acknowledge, or they refuse to acknowledge. Reality number 1 is on the PlayStation side, which is, dude, PlayStation is killing it. Yes, and I can say that even after Concord. I don't know how, but they are. Like, they're killing it, dude. They're doing great. I think it was just revealed that the PS5 made $106 billion in total revenue. It's like, I know there are people who are frustrated with PlayStation. I know there are people who don't like PlayStation. I know there are people who want PlayStation to operate very differently and feel as though that Sony has gotten a bit arrogant and all this stuff. I get that. But the fact of the matter is they are killing it, dude. And they're going to continue to kill it going into 2025 into the PlayStation 6 as well. Unless something cataclysmic happens, right? That did. I mean, dude, I would say that did happen. Concord was cataclysmic, and they're still fine. It's nuts. Sony is in such a strong position where they have figured out. It doesn't mean they're not going to have to make pivots and changes. They are, but I'm trying to say like there's a group of people that deny that reality. Like they ignore it because it's. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know why. But it's like, guys, you don't have to like Sony to be able to admit that they're doing very well. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like them. You can hate them, but you got to acknowledge that truth. Just like I think there's another side to it, another group that refuses to acknowledge the truth that, dude, Xbox is going to be producing some great games going forward. Like, whether those games are going to hit PS5 or not, I mean, I think most of them will, but that's a fact. And that fact is based off of, dude, look at the studios they own. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You don't have to like Xbox. You don't have to like the Xbox console. You don't have to like Phil Spencer. You know, you don't have to like the fan base, but you got to be able to admit that they're going to start producing, dude. They already did this year with some of their games. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, it's not, I think this is where people, they want to deny certain realities and certain truths. And I don't know why, because I guess maybe because they feel as though if they accept that truth, it's going to, like, for example, if somebody who really dislikes the Xbox fan base or the Microsoft side of things, and they like despise Microsoft, it's like some people operate as if they really like get to that point and say, I think they are going to start producing some good games. You know, that's them saying, I love Xbox now. Like, that's not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, they are two different things. It's just like if somebody says, yeah, PlayStation's doing amazing. Like, they're selling well. They're making more money than ever. Like, they're just doing very well. That's not the same as saying, I love PlayStation. I really like playing on PlayStation. They're two different things. And I guess I'm just kind of putting this out here because I'm seeing this more often now for some reason. Like, it's kind of weird, dude. It seems like Sony and Microsoft have basically torn the walls down, and they're just basically at a point where it's like, we're just going to, you know, we're just going to kind of embrace certain changes, and it's cool. But there are still some people that are like, no, we're not doing that. It's like, guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you don't get to decide that. You know, like, for yourself, you do, but take a look around. I don't know. I don't know what to tell these people anymore. Where it's like, I guess just keep banging your head against the wall if that's what keeps you feeling okay. But yeah, I don't know. My view of it is I think things are looking pretty good all around. I think that not everything's going to be perfect. I will say that. I'm not trying to make it sound like there's not going to be any problems in 2025. No, there will be. There will be some issues. There will be some failures. There will be some things that do not go as smoothly. But more broadly speaking, I think there's going to be more good than bad in gaming. And that's just based off of my hope as well. Who wouldn't want that? According to Digital Foundry, Xbox had the two best looking games this year. I'm assuming Hellblade 2 is one of them. What was the second one? Was it Indiana Jones, maybe? Is that the... See, that's what I mean. Like, it's like... like, this is where if you are a hardcore PlayStation fan, that loves graphically beautiful games. I mean, come on, man. You got to at least be able to give the credit where it's due. That's my opinion anyway. I really got to at least be able to give the credit because I never like seeing that on the other side either, right? Where it's like, I remember Digital Foundry labeled Death Stranding one of the best looking games when it came out, and I remember people were hating on it. It seemed like Xbox fanboys were hating on it, and I'm like, stop. Like, give the credit where it's due, man. It's a beautiful looking game. It's one of the best looking games that dropped this gen. Just give it the credit it's due. And there were people who refused, and that shit annoyed me because it's like, you don't have to like the game, man, but you got it. People need to be willing to be big enough to just give the credit where it's due. At the very least, man. At the very least. That's all. I'm not saying you got to embrace everything and love everything. No, it doesn't have to be that way. But if you're going to have these conversations, I feel like you got to be able to give the credit where it's due, you know? Steven, you're saying you don't see them going to Xbox like they do for PS5. What's that in reference to? You talking about certain PlayStation games? We're going to have that conversation tomorrow with my predictions video. Or we'll have a deeper conversation about that anyway. Fish and chips. Doom the Dark Ages, Outer Worlds 2, COD 25 launching on all platforms next year. Yeah, dude. I know Avowed is not launching on all platforms. I'm not sure what else. I think Fable's the other one. Fable's the one. Dude, I want to see more Fable, honestly. That last trailer they showed, I thought looked pretty promising. But you know what game I really want to see more of? And I mean, I am itching to see more of this game. Ghost of Yotei, bro. I am itching to, like, I'm trying not to think about it that much. Like, I'm almost trying to pretend it wasn't even revealed because I want to know. Like, I want to know. I want to know. Is Sucker Punch going to deliver? I think they are. I believe they are. But I want to see it. I want to see it. GTA, yeah, GTA is one that doesn't even exist in my mind. I talk about it, but it really doesn't live in my head. I have to admit. I'm also itching from Poison Ivy. GTA doesn't live in my head because I don't know, man. For me, GTA isn't real until it's real. It's kind of strange where it's like GTA is my most anticipated game for next year, but yet I feel like I'm floating on a cloud, man. Like, hey, whenever it's ready to go, you let me know. It's kind of weird. I don't really feel that way about a lot of games. Like most games that I'm very excited for, I feel eager. I don't have an eagerness for GTA, and it has nothing to do with my excitement for it. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like the game will be ready when it's ready. Like it'll arrive at exactly the moment it intends to arrive, you know? Like the Gandalf of gaming. But yeah, Ghost of Yotei is a game I'm itching to see more of because, well, I'll be honest, man. I was really disheartened to see that there was seemingly a lot of, you know, there was a lot more divide for that game than I had anticipated, and that was disheartening to see because I liked what I saw, and I'm very excited for it, and I'm rooting for it. Like I want people to turn around on that game. I want that game to prove a lot of people wrong, not in the sense that, see, you were wrong and you're stupid. No, like, I want people to be like, you know what, man? I judged the game too soon. And actually, it looks awesome. And I'm looking forward to playing it because it looks awesome. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm rooting for it. You saw PlayStation added Squirrel with a Gun to the PS Store. Might give that a try. Dude, yeah, I forgot about that game. King Sam, you're saying hot take, Rockstar's gameplay leaves a lot to be desired. We'll be playing GTA 6 and it will probably be good, but gameplay wise, I don't think it will be even close to game of the year for me. I don't think that's the hottest take. I think some people would consider that a hot take, but yeah, there's always been this kind of conversation about the fluidity and the overall feel of Rockstar's gameplay. I mean, when we talk about like Red Dead Redemption 2, that game got criticism, I think, because of its level of realism in terms of it's really trying to simulate real world physics and or at least as close to real world physics as it can get. And because of that, it was less gamey in that sense, where you can't really do like you have to kind of respect the laws of physics in this game, bro, just like you would in real life. You know, it's not going to feel as video gaming in that sense. I do imagine that will continue with GTA 6. Yeah, I think that will continue in GTA 6. Who takes back what they said on the internet? Well, I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it before. I've seen people willing to admit that they were wrong about certain things or judge things too harshly or were too quick to jump to conclusions. You know? Do I think GTA 6 will feel more realistic than GTA 5 or Red Dead? I think so, yeah. I think it's going to be the most realistic in terms of like how it feels, like the way it's incorporating physics. I think it'll be the most realistic we've seen so far. You hope they improve the mission design from GTA 5? GTA 5 is follow me here, drop me off there. Yeah, I could see why yeah, I mean, this is where when we talk about GTA 6 and innovation, like how many areas are they planning to innovate in, you know? How many areas? Is that an area that they're really planning on kind of changing things up and it's like, wow, this the mission structure of this of GTA 6 feels completely different from GTA 5 or any other GTA game prior. That would be quite. I mean, if we go based off of um what the CEO Strauss Zelnick of Take Two Interactive said recently, it sounds like they're planning on doing that. I don't want to read too much into it, but he was saying like everything they do has got to be new. Yeah, I remember that MRPD. You can't wait for the GTA 6 trailer where they have that lady narrate how the gameplay works, S tier editing. Yeah, I imagine they're gonna do it in a similar fashion. I think I swallowed a cat hair. I'm out of coffee. Shit. Heist missions are a staple now. Yeah, I would say so. The heist missions were awesome. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that's where they innovated the most. But the idea of them trying to like do it again, you know? David, you're saying you're right because the Astrobot hate is starting to roll back. Yeah, I'm coughing up my own hairball now. Heard about 3 years ago they're going to be 3 cities on GTA 6. Not sure if this will pan out. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect in that regard. There's still so much we don't know, man. I think that's what makes the GTA the Gandalf of gaming. There you go, man. Quote it. Quote it. 3 cities: Miami, Tampa, and Jacksonville. My prediction for GTA 6's map is it's not going to be bigger. It's actually going to be about the same size. I think it's going to be way denser. Way, 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 way denser. That's my assumption. Oh, God. Luna's passed out on the chair next to me with her tongue sticking out, dude. It's actually pretty adorable. Luna, Michael says hi. She's passed out. Granular detail everywhere. Well, I do want to move on to the final topic that we're going to discuss on the stream today. Before we do, though, guys, please do me a favor if you haven't. Hit that like button, okay? We're sitting at 150 likes now. I want to see if we can bump that up to 175. My goal is to get to 200 likes, all right? Trust me, hitting the like button helps the streams more than you know. If you want to continue to grow the community, get new people in here, have them join our community, maybe become regulars on the stream, the easiest way to make that happen is by hitting that like button. But the final topic we have to discuss is Kojima revealing that multiple games of his have apparently been delayed. He revealed this very casually, but I don't know, man. Maybe, maybe not that surprising. Okay, so this is actually reported on by let me get this out of here. This was reported on by PlayStation Lifestyle. They say Hideo Kojima has confirmed, excuse me, that his next PlayStation game, Fizzant, has suffered some development delays due to the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike. Players were already expecting Fizzant to release around sometime during the PlayStation 6's launch, but it's increasingly looking likely that the game will end up being a next-gen only title or come later than that. Reflecting upon 2024 in a New Year's Eve note on X, Kojima revealed that he had to suspend casting for Fizzant due to the ongoing actors' strike. He wasn't able to confirm when casting activity will resume, but did say that he hopes to get back on track in 2025. For Xbox's OD, we developed the game and had actor and environment scanning. In the second half of the year, scanning and filming were suspended due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. This is what Kojima said. Casting was also suspended for Fizzant due to the strike. We hope to resume next year. Platforms for Fizzant were not confirmed, but we do know that it'll be headed to PlayStation since the game is being developed with assistance from Sony Interactive Entertainment. All we know is that Fizzant is a new action espionage game that will, quote, transcend the barriers between video games and film, end quote. So, yeah, man. Oh, shit. We got a 5-bomb coming in from Big MP. Big MP coming in out of nowhere, dropping 5 membership gifts for you guys. You guys willed it into existence, bro. What? That's crazy. I think he dropped that in the middle of me reading that article. I'm just like not even paying attention to it. Big MP, thank you so much for that, man. Thank you for dropping 5 more membership gifts. That gets us to 25. That gets us to 25. We can feed the cats now. And Hellbound 1981, another legend. He drops a second 5-bomb. They're tag teaming it, bro. Let's get some W's in the chat for Big MP and Hellbound. 2 legends here. Getting a member train going. That brings us up to 30 members on the day. And adding that to the counter, we're now at 696, right on the cusp. Right on the cusp of 700. Amazing stuff. Thank you guys so much. Spamming triple anus in the chat.
Boss, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
Did you see how Boss, like, practically jumped up? King Sam's like, don't tell Big MP about my deal, MBG. Don't tell him. I won't tell him, King Sam. That's for you. That's your decision, okay? but let's give Boss his treats. He loves these things, dude. He is totally addicted to these. The backyard cookout. Here we go, Boss. There you go, man. A big pile of treats, and Luna's still just chilling for now. So I'll let Boss finish them up, and then I'll give Luna some treats. Thank you guys so much for the membership gifts and for all the support. Again, we are completely fan funded here. So for those of you who are dropping membership gifts, who are dropping super chats, I'm only able to run this channel because you guys make it possible. And I'm really grateful for that, to be able to do the streams, make the videos. It means a lot. Man, Illegal Monkey's really going crazy with the triple anus in the chat. Titus says, remind us, what deal shouldn't we talk about? No, I'm not going to do it to King Sam. By the way, guys, I just realized I had this behind me the whole time, but you couldn't see it. The Astrobot Dualsense, my son, I guess he handed it to me this morning. He wanted me to put it on my stream, I guess, have it in the background. Don't eat it, boss. Don't eat it. Please don't eat that controller, bro. Michael Werneth says, those were rookie numbers. Hold on. Am I good? Okay, he says, those were rookie numbers, and then he drops a 20 bomb. Michael Werneth drops the 20 bomb. We need some W's in the chat.
Holy shit.
He's like, we're doing it. We're getting to 50, boys. And just like that, with Michael's 20 bomb, he brings us up to 50 members on the day. Absolutely huge. It's a good thing, too. It's a good thing because I didn't mention this the whole time. We will be doing a members lounge after this. And Steven Leon coming in, dropping another 20 bomb. Those are 2 20 bombs back to back. Now Michael and Steven are tag teaming it, but up in the ante here, bro. We need some W's in the chat for Michael Werneth and Steven Leon. Legends. Absolute legends. Goats. Love to see it, man. Thank you guys so much. That's huge. That's 40 members gifted. Just like that. That brings us up to 70. So now I have to update the goal and see exactly where we're at. Amazing stuff. So yeah, just I will reiterate, for anybody here right now that did get gifted a membership, you now have access to the members content. We are doing a members lounge after this stream. So you can tune into that, but you gain access to all other members content. Okay. We will be doing, well, my hope is anyway, I plan to make Morning with the Misses a weekly thing, a regular thing that we do on the channel. Okay. A lot of you guys, we did, I think, about 3 or 4 episodes so far this year. They've been pretty scattershot, but you guys said you really enjoy it. It's something you really would like to see more of. So we will be bringing that in regularly, or as regularly as I can in 2025. We'll be doing more gameplay streams, but yeah, thank you guys so much. It means a lot. I'm going to add that to the counter. And Morning with the Misses is always off the chain. I mean, I will admit it does get pretty crazy. It does. Like, even I find myself surprised at some of this shit that ends up happening in terms of like the stuff we talk about. I'm like, damn, that escalated quickly. Things tend to get out of hand pretty quickly with me and Mrs. MBG. Is Mrs. MBG a gamer as well? She is. Yeah, actually, maybe this will be a good time to reveal this to you guys. Hold on. I did it. I finally did it. I didn't even open it yet, but we got Cyberpunk in the house. Cyberpunk 2077 complete edition, physical copy, baby. Couldn't have it any other way. I actually was surprised. I think I had to get this through GameStop because I couldn't find it like in many places. It wasn't on Amazon. I'm like, okay, I guess this is a little bit harder to get. But Mrs. MBG said she wanted to play Cyberpunk She's been asking to play this game for a while, as in she wants to play it. I got to play it too. So I don't know, man. We're going to be playing this sometime going into 2025. And turns out me and Mrs. MEG might be reviewing Cyberpunk 2077. So I'm looking forward to that. You'll trade me Concord for Cyberpunk? Bro, I got a physical copy of Concord already. Who you kidding, Michael? I got a physical copy of Concord. I got a controller. I even got the Platinum, bro. But I saw somebody saying 100 member goal. I mean, listen, man, we're at 70, so it's attainable. I do have to update this though. Hold on. What number are we at right now, guys? What number does it say for the member goal? Or not the goal, the amount that we have. 696, right? Because it's, for some reason, it's not showing up here. Yeah, I don't know why it's glitched out like that. It's totally clear. Okay. I think it was at 696. I'm pretty sure. So that brings us to 736. So, good stuff, man. Thank you guys so much. No, I don't think it was was it 686 or 696? I'm pretty sure it was 96 because I think, shit, now I don't know. Well, it's all right. It's all right. I typed in 2024 again. You're going to check. All right. Yeah. If I went too far ahead, you let me know. Not a big deal either way. I mean, you know. Toolman55 comes in. He's keeping the train going, man. Toolman55 drops another 5-bomb for you guys. 5 more members gifted. W's in the chat for Toolman. Thank you for that, buddy. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I love how Titus Crow's like, he's commentating it. Good stuff, bro. All right, let's see where we're at now. So, yeah, that brings us to 75 members, guys. Huge day for members and member gifts. Very thankful for this community, man. We have very generous people here. Awesome community. The tools. Rich Rod with a direct donation. Rich Rod, you owe me 3 members now, bro. I'm charging Rich Rod one membership gift for every message he makes me read. But if Rich Rod has an anti-violent chat, if he drops a direct donation and it's anti-violent, I'm not going to charge him a membership gift. Every violent chat, that's 1 membership gift. But give me one moment, Rich Rod, and I'll read your direct donation. Prince G's like, bro, anybody going to drop a 50 bomb? 20 bomb, perhaps. Well, either way, I mean, I'm happy with whatever you guys gift. I'm happy where we're at. If you want to keep it going, by all means, continue to do so. Because like I said, we got a lot of members content coming up in 2025. And the more channel members we have, the better, obviously. So we're at 741 now. And let me read the direct donation from Rich Rod. Let's see. Rich Rod says, Oh my God. Rich Rod, who now owes me 3 member gifts, says, Jez, don't be mad when you lose your job at Windows Central and you are on the streets begging for Xbox Game Pass cards. You ugly sucker. Xbox dies ugly. I think you said boy or girl. Jesus. It's the holidays, Rich Rod. What is wrong with you? I should make you drop a 5 bomb just for that. Chat, you pressure Rich Rod right now. He can't get away with this. Don't let him get away with this. He's making me read this stuff. You guys pressure Rich Rod into dropping a 5 bomb right now. Game Pass. Oh, man. On the streets begging for Game Pass. No, I appreciate it, Steven. I appreciate it, Steven. You've done a lot for the channel. You've done a lot for the channel this year, man, and I really appreciate that. It has been a difference maker. You know, that's the thing. He does it. Rich Rod does it. He's like, I got you, bro. There we go. Rich Rod is a man of honor. Thank you, Rich Rod. I didn't think he would do it. I didn't think he would do it, bro. I'm like, I don't know, man. He's probably just going to drop 6 more donations and make me read them. And Steven Leon drops another 20 bomb. Bro, Steven is going nuts. Steven drops a second 20 bomb on you guys right after Rich Rod drops his 5 memberships for making me read all his chats. W's in the chat.
Holy shit.
Is the stream stuttering? Are we good? I don't know. It keeps freezing on my end a little bit. But I do want to say, listen, I don't know how many new viewers we have right here or here right now. But if you are a new viewer, make sure you hit the any of these member icons up top so you can opt in to receive a membership gift. King Sam says he's willing to drop a couple of 50 bombs if we get closer to 1,200. Damn, bro. A couple of 50 bombs. It's like the gaming lotto. I never win. King Sam putting a couple of 50 bombs on the line here. Well, let me see. That brought us to the 100 member mark, which is awesome to see. We did achieve 100 members today with Rich Rod's 5 bomb and Steven dropping 20 more. So let me add that to... I kind of wish I had more coffee, though. I feel like I chugged my coffee a little too quick. So 766, guys. 766. You think we hit the 1,000 goal? What about we change it to 1K? I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels kind of pressure. It feels like you guys are putting pressure on me, you know? I need to know, is the stream freezing for you guys? Like, does it keep freezing? Because on my end, it keeps showing it's freezing. I just want to make sure it's not happening for you guys, too. Rich Rod says those gifted were meant to be people as violent or more violent than me. So it's not freezing for you guys. Okay. That's just on my end then. All right. That's good. Thought we were having a real issue there. I don't know, man. I don't want to like cave. I don't want to cave for the pressure. All right, let me see where we're at. Let me do a little bit of quick math here. Hmm. I'm like, I'm just trying to think of something on the fly here that we could do. You're saying don't change it, but I don't know. I have. It's. I don't feel like I should lower the goal because I feel like that's like it was there the whole month, you know. But you guys are definitely getting closer to it. Hmm. I have to think about this. The hat has already come off. I mean, I feel like the hat coming off is just gonna have to be like an occasional thing, you know. I didn't shave my head either. I gotta get on that. Just leave it the same time for tomorrow. Maybe we could do that. Yeah, I don't know. It does say it ends January 1st. So it's like I could extend it till tomorrow. I did say that earlier that I would kind of be willing to do that. Ray, you ruined everything. Ray says, "Don't do it. I'm sorry I mentioned it." King Sam really wants to hit the goal. Well, to be clear, I do want to make it clear. Mrs. MBG has no problem coming on camera. She's asked to do so multiple times, but you know, I'm like, we gotta ease into it. You know, we gotta leverage it. We gotta entice people. But I don't know. I figured if we could hit this goal by the end of the month, we're gonna be doing more stuff with Mrs. MBG throughout 2025. Mrs. MBG unboxing. They gotta pay to see it, bro. Now, here's my theory. You ready? My theory is people are going to support the channel either way. You know, like for example, if I keep this goal up, we will hit this goal sometime in January, you know. But Mrs. MBG's wanted to come on the channel quite a few times. Um Rich Rod, bro. Rich Rod's just straight up like, who wants to go just be violent? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I could have worded that better. Hey, a little glimpse into Morning with the Misses, though. You know, it's unhinged, truly. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about extending it a little bit, maybe until at least tomorrow, because we are close, man. We got closer than I would have expected by this point because I feel like the goal kind of stagnated a little bit for a while, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, let's just leave it up. We'll just see it through to the end of the month. But you guys dropped 100 members today. Michael says the chat is going to be uncontained. My condolences. No, dude, I mean, it's all good, bro. Gaming Survivor, bro, you know it gets real when Gaming Survivor's like, I'm re-upping my membership, bro. I'm re-upping it. He says I'm back. Gaming Survivor's back. He re-ups his membership and brings us to 101. Gaming Survivor, thank you for that, man. I know that was your WD-40 money that you set aside. I know you just dipped into your WD-40 fund. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Carler says if MBG hits the goal, don't be jackasses to Mr. Mrs. MBG. Or yeah, don't be jackasses to me either. Just saying. No, I'm not gonna. That's the thing, man. Like, when it comes to people being assholes on the internet, I've just gotten to a point where people could do what they want outside of my channel. That's fine. But at least here, like, yeah, I'm not going to tolerate that shit. I don't tolerate that shit when it's directed towards me because it's just not, it's not right. You know, some people are just straight up mean, bro. Like, I'm not even I mean, maybe I'm a sensitive person sometimes, but generally speaking, I don't consider myself like that sensitive. But people could just be straight up mean on the internet. And it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to cultivate that here. Unless it's violence towards Xbox, you know? I didn't know that, Steven. WD-40 is a weapon. I mean, I've used it against wasps before, bro. Michael says that's going to get clipped. I'm not sensitive. Yes, you are, MBG. No, I'll admit, I'm a bit more sensitive than probably even I think sometimes. But I don't know, man. It is what it is. I think there are people that are like, you got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. It's like, maybe don't. I understand the idea of having thick skin, but it's like, we also don't. I feel like that, like, you don't have to abuse yourself that way. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you don't just have to. It's okay to not be okay with people treating you like shit. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make you weak, in my opinion. I mean, I understand that there is a time where you have to be strong and you have to be tough and whatever, but it's like, you know, it's okay to be human. And if people are being completely nasty to you or rude to you, like, you know, it's very normal to feel shitty because of that and to not want to be near that. 10K memberships goal. Family and the internet do not mix. Yeah. I agree with that to an extent. But I don't know, man. The thing is, there was a time where, you know, when I was doing YouTube earlier on, I told myself, like, I'm never going on camera. Ever. Like, it's never happening. But over time, I just kind of realized I felt like I kind of wanted to, you know? Because here's the thing, even though there are a lot of annoying, crappy people out there, a lot of trolls, it is true. There are a lot of people like this out there. There's also a lot of good people. And I feel like I tend to overlook that sometimes. And I think it's easy to overlook that. You know, just like all things, like, yeah, there's crappy people out there, there's trolls, there's nasty people, but there's also a lot of really good people. And that's what made me realize, like, you know, I think I will go on camera and I will start to stream on camera because, of course, there's going to be some people that probably have some nasty things to say or not so nice things to say, but to hell with them, you know? Like, I'm worried about the people that are here to have a good time, to talk about games, to hang out. That's what matters to me. Yeah, humor, that's true too. Humor can be taken wrong depending on the chat or who the type of sense of humor people have. That's where things can be a little bit tough, where you can accidentally like offend somebody when you were really just trying to joke around. But that's normal in life, I would say. It was a W move going on camera. We can relate more with you. Well, listen, man, I'll tell you right now, I don't think I would have been as successful as I've been so far up until this point on the channel if I didn't go on camera. I think I still would be doing fine, and I think people would be okay with that. But I don't know. I mostly have enjoyed the decision going on camera. Yeah, well, you would have never got me dressing up as Snake. Still can't believe I did that. That's just shocking to me looking back that I did that, because that's like, I just don't do stuff like that ever. But you won't even accept your family on Instagram. You need your personal space. I get it. Yeah, you would have never been able to see Boss if I never went on camera. But dude, the face reveal was so funny, man. I promised that I would do the face reveal and unboxing for the PS5 when it came out. I had fun doing that. That was a good one. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous. Yeah, dude. I picked the absolute worst PlayStation Showcase to cosplay. Did you watch the Austin Evans video? He uploaded a 2-hour video about the history of PlayStation. No, I did not. I actually am probably going to check that out. That actually sounds really cool. 2 hours, man. Sounds like a lot went into that. Yeah, that sounds like a worthwhile. I don't really watch Austin Evans, but that actually sounds very interesting. The Mrs. MBG hand reveal was epic, though. Was there a hand reveal? Wait, when was this? I must have forgot. But, all right, so here's what we'll do. We're at the 2 hour and 50 minute mark. So I'm going to let we'll hang out here for 10 more minutes. All right, but we are going to head over to the members lounge after this. Okay, so this will be kind of like the last call or something. That's kind of always what I call it. Is that hair or something else? Oh, wow, no, that's just a white hair. Oh, okay. The downside risk is way too high. Home life disruption is almost guaranteed. I mean, yeah, it depends. Like I talked to Mrs. MEG about that, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. It's one of these things where people, everybody I think responds to stuff differently, you know? And I think it just depends on the individual. Cause like even yesterday, dude, yesterday, I'm not going to go into it, but just to give you an example, okay. Well, before I do that, we have Titus Crow dropping a super chat saying, Happy New Year, boys, when it comes. Well, Happy New Year's to you as well, Titus. Happy New Year's Eve, still. But yeah, man, new year, new MBG. I'm going to have hair. That's right. 2025. I'm going to have it. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. I will just say this. On Twitter yesterday, and Twitter's obviously a shitty place a lot of times. It's not always shitty, but most of the time it is. I put out, I'm not gonna lie, I put out like an inflammatory post about Xbox fanboys, which I don't do that anymore. And I'll be honest, it was just, I was trying to test something, a theory, but it wasn't even that crazy, dude. Like, I think I said like Xbox fanboys are mad that, no. I said Xbox fanboys fantasize about Helldivers 2 and Spider-Man 2 releasing on Xbox. And that's it. You know, I'm not saying it's not. I know it's inflammatory. That's an inflammatory statement. And I honestly wasn't sure how serious people would take it because I just don't do that shit. Like, I haven't posted anything like that in a long time because I just don't do it anymore because it's stupid. It's kind of funny. It's a little bit funny, but it's inflammatory. And I'm not trying to like cultivate that shit, but I just did it for fun yesterday. It was for science, yeah. And it was as insane as it was actually a little bit more insane than I expected. Like people were coming after me, bro. I'm like, all right, I expected the heat. I'm like, I get it. But there was one person who said something, I'm not going to repeat what they said, and I blocked them immediately. Although somebody replied to them instantly and owned them so bad. I was fucking dying laughing. I was like, holy shit, that guy just got turned on, bro. But what the person commented was so vile that it was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, we're talking about video games. What are you doing? And it just is a reminder that, yeah, like, these people exist, man. Like, these nasty, I mean, sometimes it feels like evil people, bro, where they're just like, they're like demons. And it's like, that shit is real. So I'm just using that as an example. Like, I encounter it already. Like, I know. But fuck that guy, you know? Like, block, delete, you're gone. I'm going to continue to do my thing. You go be a demon somewhere else. You ain't welcome here, bro. Stephen Leon with his milestone chat. He says, be safe out there. Enjoy your night. We are the MBG game. We got your back. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. You're the MBG army. I tried to make that a thing, but I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't. I don't know if we have another name we can go with, but I don't like the MBG army because I feel like, again, it leans into the violence thing. It leans into the console war stuff. It leans into the violence, and I'm not trying to do that because that's not what I'm trying to cultivate at this point. The MBG gangsters. There we go. Okay, thank you, bro. He dropped another membership gift. That actually brings us to 102 on the day. Hellbound says they're just keyboard warriors and basement dwellers. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, like that, dude, that thing that person typed out on Twitter yesterday, like, yeah, I'd love to see whoever that was say that shit to my face, because I'll tell you what, man. It wouldn't be pretty, you know? It wouldn't be pretty. And I highly doubt they would ever say something like that to my face, because they know they know what would happen. You know, you want to talk about Rich Rod violence? Yeah. No, at that point, it's real. Like, I'm going to call up Rich Rod, and it's about to get real. Rich Rod will bring the golf club. That's so funny, man. But, yeah, man, it's like, whatever. I think people who get that serious about it, it's like, I'm not even kidding. Like, you need to get some help, man. It's okay to engage, get a little riled up, do a little back and forth. That's fine. But once you start taking shit to a level that's just vile, it's like, you need to get some help. Like, you're mentally unwell. You're mentally sick. You shouldn't be on the internet. You need to go take care of yourself. But we got about 2 more minutes here. I'm going to add that to the counter. You see the World of Warcraft South Park episode of that one player who kept killing the kid's character? That's how I imagine that guy looks in real life. Yeah, MRPD, I think you know what I'm talking about. I think, yeah, you mentioned it earlier. You saw it. All right, let me add that to the counter. We're at 767. So we will be heading over to a members lounge for a little while, guys. So if you are a channel member, if you have that badge next to your name, there's going to be a second stream that goes up about 1 to 2 minutes after this one ends. It's for members only. We're going to go hang out for a while. Who knows what conversations await us in the members lounge? Tune in to find out. Sons at Jack in the Box. Food for me, not for you. You know what I've been eating a lot of lately? And I mean, I didn't really think about it until recently, where I'm like, I've been eating so much pizza. I had to actually think about it. I'm like, I think I need to take a little break. I love pizza, bro. Why is pizza so good? Pizza might be my favorite food ever. It's just so good. And I've been eating all different types of pizzas. You know what pizza I had the other day? It was the first time in a long time. Because I watched this video. It was do you guys know the YouTuber Company Man? Good YouTuber. Really interesting stuff that he puts out. He did a video on frozen pizzas. And one of the pizzas he talked about frozen pizza was Red Baron. And I'm like, dude, I haven't had a Red Baron pizza in years. I think it's been like almost 10 years, but I used to love them. And so recently I just bought a couple of Red Baron pizzas. Their Supreme pizza. Holy shit, dude. It hit. I'm like, this is it right here. I feel bad though. Yo, Elio's, bro, no joke. I got Elio's in my freezer right now. I eat Elio's too. In fact, one of the reasons why I have to make sure I gotta like start getting more serious about working out is I keep eating Elio's at night. I just take a sheet of Elio's pizza and I just put it in the toaster oven at night, and I eat it like before bed. Not good. Not good. Not definitely not the time to eat it, but we need a making pizza stream with MBG. Yeah, that'll go down well. But guys, all right, listen, we hit the 3-hour mark. We're going to head over to the members lounge now. Before we do that though, I want to seriously thank you guys so much. Absolutely huge stream here for the last day of the year. Can't promise we're going to hit that goal, but what I can promise is even if we don't, more Mrs. MBG is going to be incorporated much more into the channel going into 2025 because somebody asked earlier, does she play games? Is she a gamer? The answer is yes. She wants to be more involved. In fact, there are games that she plays that I don't touch that people have asked me to play that I think she would be able to join me and talk to you guys and talk to the channel. And I don't know. I wouldn't know what's going on, you know, but the games you guys asked me to play, and I'm like, I'm not touching that. She's all over it. So have I played Stray yet? Mr. Bills, tune in to tomorrow's stream, but the day after tomorrow, January 2nd, I'm planning on doing a stream talking all about the games I played this year, my top games, my game of the year, platinums I earned. Stray might appear. So tune in on January 2nd. But all right, guys, thank you so much. We got over 100 members today, which is incredible to see. Also want to thank everybody who dropped a super chat or a direct donation. You guys allow this channel to thrive, and you take care of me, you take care of my family, you take care of the community. It's been a crazy year. I probably should say a little something here since it's going to be the last stream of the year. Just reflecting on 2024, crazy year, a lot of ups and downs. Difficult year in some regards, not just here on the channel, but in life. I think a lot of people have faced some struggles and some challenges this year. And so when I say thank you right now, understand that I'm thanking you for being a kind of pillar or a rock, if you will, for the year 2024, because there were definitely some things that have gone on in my personal life that, I would consider difficult and creating some difficult times. And, having the community here, having people, knowing people have my back, and, it's something I can always kind of rely on where we're going to do streams, we're going to come together, we're going to talk, we're going to have a good time. It's been a huge, huge difference maker. So just want to make sure you guys understand that this year was made better thanks to you. And I think next year's going to be great. I do. So thank you guys so much for everything. And with that being said, the members lounge is going to be going up in just a couple minutes. I'll see all my members over there. I want to make sure to issue a big thank you to Devil Shooter as well. Big shout out to Devil Shooter in the year 2024, man. He's done an incredible job with the timestamps, keeping up with it. So specifically for this stream, if you guys see him, make sure you give him some thanks. Give him some extra thanks to let him know how much you appreciate all the timestamps he's done throughout the year. Because there were a lot of streams this year, bro. Huge shout out to Devil Shooter for that. And yeah, that just about does it, guys. So that does it for 2024. That does it for the final stream of 2024. We will be back here tomorrow for the PlayStation 2025 predictions. All right, guys. So that's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. And Broccoli Rob, I really hope that's not true, man. I hope that's not true. Be safe. Take care of yourself, man. We got to see you. You got to be asking me to borrow $1 in 2025, right? So, all right. Members, I'll catch you in the members lounge. Everybody else, I will catch you tomorrow in the next stream. So that does it. Until next time, guys, take care. Final take care of 2024. As I struggle to end the stream, it, wouldn't be any other way.